Draper may start a defensive role for Ottawa, but he's also developed into a decent offensive threat, making him a key part of Brian Kilrea's Ottawa machine. Leading the 67s offense on the blue line is all-star Chris Snell. And up front, leading scorer Brett Sagan heads up an Ottawa team that has its playoff sight set on the leaders. In Sudbury, Coach Ken McKenzie has been wondering how a team that was so highly rated in the preseason could struggle so much during the regular season. The Wolves have been inconsistent in their own end. They've used 7 goaltenders this season. But despite those problems, the Wolves have performed well against the top teams in the OHL. It's a meeting of potential giant killers in the OHL. Sunday night on TSN. Tonight from Ottawa, the 67s play host to the Wolves on the final weekend of the OHL regular season. CHL Sunday night on TSN, brought to you by Molson Canadian, what beer's all about. And in part by Shell, makers of the performance gasoline Formula Shell. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Civic Centre. I'm Gord Miller. In the OHL, it is clearly a case of catch the generals, and the question about catching Oshawa may very well rest with the two teams that we'll see tonight. The standings show Oshawa well out in front. Ottawa will play Belleville in the first round. The only question there is, where will that series begin? If the season ended tonight, Sudbury would play Oshawa in the first round of the playoffs, and that's not bad news for the Wolves. This season, they've won 3 of the 7 games they've played against the Generals. Ottawa, meantime, is 3-3 against Oshawa this year. They're the only team in the OHL that's played .500 hockey against Oshawa this season. For more on tonight's game, let's go to the guys who will call the action, Paul Romanuk and Bob McKenzie. Gentlemen.
We are going to see one of the hottest teams in all of Canadian junior hockey tonight, the Ottawa 67s. Only Oshawa better than Ottawa since February the 1st. Talk about gearing it up for the playoffs.
Well, they're really doing a great job. They've won 9 games in a row now. Coach Brian Kilrea said there's not any one particular thing that's led to the big surge. Rather, everybody elevating their game a little bit. Ryan Kuwabara, a right wing, a second-round draft pick of the Montreal Canadiens, had 5 goals at Christmas. Now he's got over 30. Chris Simon, a guy who's drafted by Philadelphia in the second round last year, he's played 18 games coming off shoulder surgery. He plays on a line with Kris Draper. And what this does, it allows Kris Draper to become more than just a shadow, gives him a second big offensive line.
Heading into the season, the Sudbury Wolves, a lot of people, including myself, figured this is a team that could challenge the Oshawa Generals for the Ontario Hockey League title. That has not been the case.
No, the record is very deceptive, though. In the first 20 games, they got terrible goaltending. They've gone through 7 this season before finally settling on John Tanner and Dan Ryder. They won only 6 games in the first 20. That puts you behind the 8-ball big time in the Leyden division. So, in fact, their record against Oshawa and North Bay, the powers in this division, is very good. Yet there they are battling Peterborough for 5th and 6th spot as we head down the stretch.
Both teams getting set for the playoffs. The Ottawa 67s will meet Belleville for sure. Sudbury will meet either North Bay or Oshawa. Here's Gord Miller.
All right, thanks very much, gentlemen. Out of town today in the Ontario Hockey League, Owen Sound and London played to a 4-4 overtime tie. Meantime, in Cornwall, John Slaney, the hero of Team Canada's gold medal win in Saskatoon, had a hat trick as Cornwall defeated Kingston 7-3. In the Western Hockey League, Saskatoon edged Moose Jaw 6-5. And in what may be a preview of the Quebec League final, Hull hammered Trois-Rivières by a final score of 10-2. The playoffs are next week in the OHL, but tonight it's a great matchup between Sudbury and Ottawa, and it's coming up next live on TSN.
To survive the long, harsh winter, Canadians wrap themselves in wool.
Watch it now, watch it!
Huddle together.
There it comes, there it comes!
Keep their hands and feet moving.
Watch it now, get you!
And at the first sign of fatigue, they seek shelter and rest. Molson Canadian, genuine Canadian beer. What beer's all about.
Break away with Formula Shell. Finally, a cordless drill that just won't quit. The Black & Decker Univolt. With more torque than its leading competitor and more than 100 watts out of power. Only one thing stops the Univolt. The industrial strength Black & Decker Univolt. The industrial tool division of Black & Decker presents an industrial strength guarantee. If you're not satisfied with any tool we make, we'll take it back. Guaranteed.
This is Jay. Jay doesn't say much when he's enjoying his McCain Super Fries. And he doesn't seem to care that Super Fries are cholesterol-free and low in saturated fats. McCain Super Fries, deep-fried flavor and crispness from your oven. For the strong, silent type.
If momentum means anything, and it sure does heading into the playoffs, Ottawa has it on their side. They are 13-3 since February the 1st, and trying to stop this hot Ottawa team will be veteran goaltender John Tanner for the Sudbury Wolves. He is 9-7 with a 3.32 goals against average. At the other end, the guy who has played all the games this year for Ottawa against Sudbury and most of their games this year, Peter McGlynn. He comes into this game, his 48th, with an average of 4.26. Dave Lynch, veteran Ontario Hockey League referee, calling the shots tonight. And the two teams coming to center to get the shots started. The Ontario Hockey League regular season wrapping up, and both these teams looking ahead to the playoffs. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller. CHL Sunday night from the Civic Centre in Ottawa. The Wolves are in the blue, the Ottawa 67s in the white. And this is number 8 for the Sudbury Wolves, Wade Bartley, sending it up off the boards out to center. Tapped up ahead, in over the blue line. Glenn Murray goes in deep, trying to get around Jerry Skrypek, trying to get it out in front of the net. Skrypek takes it away, dumps it off the boards, and manages to get it down the ice. And Bartley cruising back there to pick it up. Bartley being watched. Up there forechecking Peter Ambrosiak, number 12. Tanner will tee it up again for Bartley. And Ambrosiak, with a little reconnaissance, goes flying by. Couldn't pick it up. Back comes Greg Clancy stepping up. Big shot fired by Glenn Murray, and well out to cut down the angle and knock it away with Peter McGlynn. Seguin to Ambrosiak. He'll dump it in for the 67s, and they make changes on the fly.
Paul, the Wolves will try to take advantage, go wide on this Ottawa defense. You saw Murray have an opportunity there, getting a shot in on Peter McGlynn.
Glenn Murray gets it up ahead. Terry Chitteroni trying to take off, knocked away from him. Back right up the middle comes Kris Draper in there. Draper trying to break through. He hits the post, and the puck spins off into the corner, and a penalty coming up against the Sudbury Wolves. It will be a hooking call. So the shadow, Kris Draper, known more for his defense than his offense, comes breaking through there with a good scoring chance.
Well, he froze Sean Rivers, number 24, with a fake. Broke down the middle between Bennett and Rivers. Rivers had no choice but to haul him down. You'll watch Rivers here get taken for the move. And there you see him come around, puts the stick deep, buries it into his belly, and gives him a bit of a hook and hauls him down. Sean Rivers off for hooking.
And the penalty comes a minute 20 into the game, and Ottawa will get set to go to work in the power play. And something that has further enhanced Draper's reputation as a great defensive player. You may remember the gold medal game at the World Junior Championships, Team Canada against the Soviets, and he just shut down Soviet star Pavel Bure. Draper out there for the power play now. Puck back towards the blue line. Number 19, Jeff Riccardi keeps it in, got it in front. Puck whistled high and wide. Riccardi, number 19 at the blue line, couldn't keep it in. Chris Simon. Number 19 for the 67s. A minute 30 to go on the power play for Ottawa. We are just underway in the first period. 18-10 to go. 0-0 hockey game. 67s with the man advantage. And here comes Chris Snell. Hits the blue line. Puck sitting there loose. Riccardi rushing up. Couldn't keep it in. And breaking back. Bennett walks in. Shoots. What a stop by McGlynn.
Peter McGlynn comes up with the big save. Adam Bennett a sheer breakaway, a short-handed. Bennett took advantage of a miscue at the Sudbury blue line and just outlegged all the Ottawa 67, showing lots of speed. Big Chicago Blackhawk first-round pick from a couple of years ago comes in and tries to put it up high for his 20th goal of the season. He's got 19, but McGlynn just beat him. A good shot, but a better save.
And Bennett was saying before the game, there's some kind of a jinx concerned with him scoring 20. He's been stalled at 19 for a couple of games now. Would love to get that 20th. Had a few chances on Saturday in a game the Sudbury Wolves lost 5-1 to the Peterborough Petes. Ottawa still in the power play for the next minute. And they will regroup from deep in their own zone. Peter McGlynn, the goaltender, up ahead to Seguin, to Ambrosiak. Has trouble controlling. Here comes Snell. Good rushing defenseman. Snell assessing the situation. Back there. Quick shot on goal by Ambrosiak, and John Tanner will hang on.
Well, John Tanner started the year with the Quebec Nordiques. Came back to the Ontario Hockey League with the London Knights, and since been traded up to Sudbury, where he's played very well for coach Ken McKenzie. Ken McKenzie had very serious problems early on this season with the goaltending. They went through 5 goaltenders before finally settling on Tanner and Danny Ryder, and that counts as their 6th and 7th goaltenders. And once they got the goaltending in order, this has been a very good hockey team. Their record is a little deceptive, the fact that they're in 6th place. They're a much better team than that indicates.
Riccardi moves it up ahead. Seguin trying to get it across in front, knocked away. Riccardi keeps it in. Still 35 seconds to go on the power play. Big shot blasted on as it was knocked across to Snell, and again Tanner comes up with the stop.
Well, Coach Brian Kilray, some people call him a poor man's Don Cherry. He's got a lot of the outrageous things that Don Cherry has to say, does not have his wardrobe, and certainly does not have his income. And I think that's why they call him the poor man's Don Cherry.
But he is a king here in Ottawa, an institution with this Ottawa 67s franchise, save for a brief hiatus when he went up to work with the New York Islanders for a couple of seasons. He has been the man with this 67s franchise. And you wonder if they'd have room for a guy like that in the Ottawa Senators organization. Seguin trying to dig it loose at the side of the net. Tanner hugging the post. Seguin gets it back to Riccardi. Works it across. Snell with a shot. That ricochets off the skate and out of play with 18 seconds still to go on the power play for the 67s.
I want you to watch this guy tonight. A very interesting case study. A guy you don't hear a lot about in terms of national exposure. But Brett Seguin has led the Ontario Hockey League in assists for the past 2 seasons, last year and this year. He is an outstanding playmaker. They don't come any finer than that, and it's a mystery, really. He is a little small, but for not to get any National Hockey League interest in somebody who's this talented, you watch him tonight, he just sees the ice so well and really keys this Ottawa attack.
He is in the midst of a 19-game point-scoring streak. He had 1 goal and 3 assists against the Belleville Bulls in a game here Friday night. Snell looking to get outside on Feasby, trying to get it across in front, bouncing puck. Tanner chopping at it. And Tanner getting a little bit adventurous coming out of his net, and he almost got caught. Still 9 seconds to go on the power play for the Ottawa 67s.
John Tanner is an outstanding goaltender when he stays within his crease. We'll see here Snell coming around Barry Young, puts the big hook on him, big hold. Actually could have been a penalty there. And you'll see Tanner come out and try and move the puck himself, a one-handed shot. He proved there that he's no Ron Hextall. He does have good puck handling abilities, sometimes gets a little overconfident with those, and Sam McMaster, the general manager of the Wolves, says he gets into trouble when he wanders. Those are the games he has bad ones.
5 seconds to go on the power play for 67s, and that will about do it. Len DeVono up along the boards, knocked down by Adam Bennett. Here's DeVono again. Flips it up and in. Jason Snow, number 11, moving up there to forecheck in back of the net for the 67s. He'll get some help up there. Snow trying to ram it loose. Back to DeVono. Taking a look. He's got some open ice and then runs out of it along the boards and gets caught. Here comes Chitteroni. Back down in. Drops it across. Trying to cut in. Rivers had a chance and play is called. A penalty coming up. And Chitteroni in working with Rivers on the 2-on-1. And we're going to look at a Sudbury power play after this.
For all the driving hazards winter may throw your way, we introduce the new full-time four-wheel drive Subaru Legacy. Because you can't control the conditions you drive in, we make sure you can control the car. The Subaru Legacy is renowned for its legendary full-time four-wheel drive. So when the weather goes to the dogs, your Subaru comes to the rescue.
Ottawa defenseman Lenny DeBono off for holding at 3:28. A great opportunity here. You can see the penalty in the background. Terry Chitteroni, number 15, comes across, lays a beautiful pass on, and Daryl Sittler in the Old Canada Cup of 76. Sean Rivers fooled McGlynn with that, faked it, went around him, and then just buried it off the side of the post.
So Kris Draper out there now for a role in which he excels, that being penalty killing. And he'll take the face-off against number 9, Jamie Matthews. Out there in the power play for the Sudbury Wolves. 16:10 to play first period. 0-0 between the Sudbury Wolves and the Ottawa 67s. Two Ontario Hockey League teams getting set for the playoffs. As the 66-game schedule comes to an end this weekend in the OHL. Here's Matthews. Under some pressure in his own zone. Wolves will work it up. Glenn Murray going for the net. Pass bouncing through, doesn't get to him. Murray, number 27, coming up to get it. He gets caught back at the net. Here's Adam Bennett back at the line. Bennett over to the far corner. Glenn Murray going after it. Here's Matthews looking for Murray. He's got Berg in front. Here's Berg in the corner now to Matthews. Back of the net, Berg. All the way out. Wrist shot in towards the goal. Knocked down by Bartley, and McGlynn will hang on as he stepped up to challenge. Peter McGlynn will do that. He likes to play very aggressively, and it's been a style that has served him well.
Well, he literally just takes the puck right off of Bob Berg's stick. You'll see the rebound come back out here, deflection. It's right on the edge of the crease. And Berg, a 50-goal man last year in the Ontario Hockey League, put that one right into McGlynn's glove.
Still 1 minute and 7 seconds to go on the power play for the Sudbury Wolves.
Oh, a great save. Just had to reach behind him. And Berg is a very dangerous man around the net. He doesn't miss very often like that. And McGlynn is on a real roll this year. He was second in wins last year in the Ontario Hockey League. Again, not a lot of recognition. He was behind Jeff Fife of Belleville, who had the most wins. And he's already had 25 this year. So another good year for Peter McGlynn.
15:19 to go first period, 0-0. And Matthews moving in once again to take the face-off for the Wolves. They'll scrum around off the face-off. Kovacs back to the line. Rivers shoots one in. That's knocked away. And it's picked up by Peter Ambrosiak, who gets it up ahead. Here comes Seguin. Drops it back for Snell. Seguin couldn't get control. And Tanner takes a look around. Keeps it in play. Seguin, extremely dangerous even strength. And is a threat shorthanded. And here's Seguin once again. Chops it down in for the 67s, and he is wrestled to the ice by Wade Bartley. No penalty call. The fans hollering for one. 30 seconds left in the power play for the Wolves. Scott Feasby for the 67s to Snell. Up to Seguin. Bartley knocking it up. Chitteroni couldn't play it. Here comes Snell. Back up, he's got Seguin with him. Offside called in the 67s. And Snell is going to have a glaring contest with Sean Rivers, and now everybody will scrum around.
Very aggressive penalty killing by the Ottawa 67s, especially Brett Seguin and Chris Snell. Brett Seguin had a great opportunity as Snell teamed up. This one comes out. You'll see Seguin jump in behind the defense, puts it back over to Snell. Snell puts it back to him, but he's a little too far on top of the goaltender, and a good defensive play by Sean Rivers. After that, Wade Bartley on 3 occasions ran Seguin into the ice. The fans were hooting and hawing for a penalty, not once, not twice, but actually 3 times. Bit of a dive on that one. But nevertheless, and what if we were to keep it going one more time, he actually put him to the ice one more time.
Offsetting minor penalties. Snell and Rivers both go off for 2 minutes apiece. So the teams remain as they were before, and that being with Sudbury in the power play for another 18 seconds. 0-0 hockey game. 14:30 to play in the first period. CHL Sunday night from the Civic Centre in Ottawa. I'm Paul Romanuk with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller. As we watch the Ontario Hockey League season wind down, we will be out west 1 week from tonight to watch the Western Hockey League schedule come to a close. Spokane will play Seattle, and what a game that should be. Tanner didn't see Adam Bennett coming. He plays it out. And offside called on the 67s. Puck was touched over there outside the line by Scott Feasby, number 3.
Well, a great tradition here in Ottawa for this team that was a gift to the nation's capital in our centennial year of 1967. Some outstanding players, Doug Wilson, Denny Potvin, Bobby Smith. You see some of the retired jerseys. Peter Lee, who played for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the National Hockey League, held all sorts of OHL career scoring records for many, many years.
I can remember as a kid, Peter Lee played for the Ottawa 67s, and it was Paul Gardner playing for the Oshawa Generals at the time. A couple of great snipers and great battles between those two clubs. Here comes Kris Draper. Drops it back. Quick shot on goal by Chris Simon, and Tanner will hang on, and everybody comes in to cruise around and take a look.
Well, big Chris Simon is not afraid to mix it up. In fact, mixing it up is what cost him half his season. He was at the Philadelphia Flyer training camp, got into a fight. He had chronic shoulder problems and had doctor's orders, do not fight. It's the kind of that wrenching motion will pull your shoulder back out. The first game, first exhibition game, inter-squad game in Philadelphia, he went up against Jeff Harding, dropped the gloves, and ended up having to have shoulder surgery. He just came back 18 games ago.
Did you see the stats there just a few moments ago? 232 pounds.
He was over 250 pounds. Brian Kilray said they couldn't weigh him because they didn't have a scale that went that high when he came back, because he was so immobile with the shoulder separation problem.
Here's Riccardi, shoots. Tanner will hang on with Draper on the doorstep.
Well, these Sudbury Wolves have really been turned around in the last few years by the tandem of Ken McKenzie and Sam McMaster. And while the Wolves have had some tough years in the 80s, they certainly have had some great graduates over that time too. Pat Verbeek starring for the Hartford Whalers now. Going back, I remember in 1979, Mike Foligno, Don Beaupre, some real good ones.
Ron Duguay, another one. Puck fired in there by Gibson, that's knocked away. And Draper being grabbed there by Chitteroni. And Chitteroni with a good grip on him, and finally they'll scrum it up for another face-off. 3:32 to go in the first period.
Team showing a little sign of being feisty here early in this contest. You know, we talked about Chris Simon a few minutes ago. Kris Draper is playing on a line with Simon this year. And what Simon's presence does is it allows Kris Draper to change his role a little bit. Brian Kilray wants to see him be more offensive. Now, he doesn't mean be more offensive and try to score a lot of goals, because Kris Draper is not a natural goal scorer, not at this level. When he played midget hockey in Don Mills, he was. But they want to get him to be more of a playmaking center, and this is something they've been working on all season. And just now with Simon in the lineup, Draper's starting to fulfill that role and become a more well-rounded player for the Winnipeg Jets.
You can make a strong case for him being the best two-way center in the Ontario Hockey League. Teams at even strength. 13.5 minutes to play first period. 0-0. And both goaltenders, John Tanner for Sudbury and Peter McGlynn for Ottawa, have had to make a couple of good stops. Here's Riccardi. Shoots. There's a good stop by Tanner. Rebound in front, trying to battle his way loose to get a shot away was Ryan Kuwabara. Puck cleared down by Jamie Matthews for the Sudbury Wolves. Up to forecheck. Berg takes a look. Back towards the blue line. Bennett couldn't get over to it, and he'll have to hurry back to pick it up. Here's Adam Bennett. Jamie Matthews. Up ahead for Glenn Murray. Being tied up on the play. Ambrosiak is in his back pocket. Berg back for Bennett. Shoots. Just wide. Murray after it. Back of the net for Berg. He had Matthews in front but couldn't control it. Matthews down in the corner now. Off the boards in front for Murray. Bouncing on him, and the 67's able to clear the zone. Thiesby gets it up ahead. Ambrosiak. Back out in front and off the stick of Kuwabara and back out. And the 67's make some changes on the go. 12.5 minutes to play first period. 0-0 hockey game. Sudbury Wolves and the Ottawa 67's. Matthews dumps it in, and the Wolves reciprocate those Ottawa changes. Here's Wade Gibson. That's snapped away wide by Greg Clancy. DeFazio moving up after it. Gets it back for Clancy. Back out in front. DeFazio couldn't get a shot away. DeFazio gets a shot. That's knocked down. Rebound loose at the side of the net. Jason Snow trying to get it loose. Clancy trying to get it in front, knocked away. Lots of traffic down in the slot area, and the passes consequently not really clicking. Chitteroni trying to fly in. Gets it back. Kovacs. Over skates, and DeFazio back out. Up the middle, Jason Snow with DeFazio in tow. Tanner out to play it. DeFazio all over him. Duvono trying to knock it loose. Back out and cleared back in. And the 67s once again making changes.
Played very scrambly at this point, and both teams having a tough time getting anything going offensively.
11:05 to go. Here comes Chris Simon. Drops it back. Allen trying to cut in front. That's broken up. Alistair Still, number 17, trying to get loose. Here's Feasby for the 67s. Off the skate of Draper, tried to pull it up and around. Here's Adam Bennett now for the Wolves. Being watched by Draper, who takes a chop at him. Here's Alistair Still. Pass a little bit ahead of Mike Pekka. And up over the glass, and we get a stoppage with 10:29 to play in the first period. Play is rather scrambly. No scoring yet.
No matter what you gotta do, it's around the clock freshness that says to you, you've always got time for Tim Hortons. No one says no to tears like this. It's around the clock freshness, round the clock freshness. Always got time for Tim Hortons.
Two games on the NHL tonight this week on TSN. Montreal-Pittsburgh comes your way Tuesday night, and then later in the week, the Canadians take on the Boston Bruins. Always a great matchup. Thursday at 7:30 Eastern Time.
Adam Bennett and Chris Simon are receiving offsetting minor penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct.
They bumped after the whistle and kept jawing at each other, so the referee Lynch decided not to take any chances and cool them off a little bit.
And the shooters have been pretty cool in this game so far. Brett Seguin, number 10, trying to take off. Seguin, sharp angle. He's got Ambrosiak moving into the slot, trying to work it loose. Seguin had it swept away. He'll continue the chase over in the other corner. Still getting back there, number 17 for the Sudbury Wolves. Back of the net for Sean Rivers. Rivers, lots of room. Comes in over the line with Still. Rivers shoots, scores! Sean Rivers allowed to walk right up, and it's 1-0 Sudbury.
Sean Rivers, a versatile player, can play any position except goal for the Sudbury Wolves. Goes end to end. The trouble is nobody on Ottawa really goes after him. A half-hearted attempt by number 10, Seguin, to hook him, but the entire defense backed right in on top of the goaltender, McGlynn, and there's one little hook from Seguin, and you can't allow a guy to skate all the way into the deep slot and fire a shot from there. Brian Kilray talks about his defense sometimes backing up until they're in the Zamboni runway, and that was a perfect example of it right there, Paul.
Everybody just stood back. Convery and Still pick up the assists on Rivers' goal, his 17th of the year. And the 67s try to come back in with Kuwabara. That's knocked away. Here's Draper stealing along the boards. Kuwabara circling high in the slot, but Draper couldn't maintain control. Young has it knocked away. Draper up for Ryan Kuwabara. He'll step in, shoots. That's a way wide. Up around the boards, Riccardi fans on one. Draper in back of the net, takes a look around. He's got Kuwabara in front. There's the pass. Riccardi moving up, right in front, score. Ryan Kuwabara ties it up.
Ryan Kuwabara is a tough guy to move from the slot. Jeff Riccardi, number 19, the Ottawa defenseman, moved right up. John Tanner got caught a little bit out of position on this when you see the puck come across. And you see Tanner come to the side of the net. And there's Kuwabara in front. just unable to move him. Here's the play with Riccardi. Riccardi just fires it across. Kuwabara puts it in. Good job by Riccardi to move up from the point, create that offensive opportunity, and just the strength of Kuwabara paying off.
And the Wolves right back in off the face-off. Trying to battle his way in was Bill Kovacs. Riccardi and Draper pick up the assist, and Kuwabara's 32nd at 10:45. And it's a 1-1 game. Out at center. Etches. Steps in one-on-one. Drops it off. Nice behind-the-back pass for Kovacs, who catches upward in the corner. Now it's pulled away. Greg Clancy for the 67s. And the Wolves back right up. DeFazio sliding it up ahead. Here comes Snell. Shoots. Big rebound. Snell trying to gobble it up, but Sean O'Donnell grabs it instead. Clancy off the boards and back in. 8:25 to play first period. A 1-1 hockey game between the Sudbury Wolves and the Ottawa 67s. Sean Rivers scoring for Sudbury at 10:05. Ryan Kuwabara back for Ottawa at 10:45. DeVono moves it across. Feasby flips it down in for the Ottawa 67s. Puck kind of rolling awkwardly. Simon after it. Allen back of the net for Simon in front for Draper. And Matthews tying him up. There was no way Draper was getting loose. Riccardi chips it in wide. Draper goes after it. Back for Feasby, but it scoots past him. And Feasby racing back after it with Bird, and McGlynn takes matters into his own hands, out to play it. 7:40 to play first period. 1-1 hockey games. Rivers, nice twist away from Draper. Up ahead now to Murray. Here's Simon for Draper. Looking for Simon in front. Gets it out towards the front of the net, and it's knocked away. Rivers back out. Feasby up for Draper. A little bit too far for him. Matthews trying to kick it into gear. Draper steals it from him. Here comes Draper with a head of steam. Ambrosiak trailing. Draper knocked down. O'Donnell with it up around the boards. Here's Rivers. Cross ice out at center for Glenn Murray. A little bit too far ahead of him. Here's Ambrosiak. Tried to hit Seguin. Ricochets off his skate. Berg just clears it back in for the Wolves. Terry Chitteroni, number 15, up to forecheck. Couldn't get to it. Seguin back for Ottawa. Up for Ambrosiak. Steps in. Looking. Gets it right across in front of the net. Intended for Kuwabara, but he was tied up, and he's held down back behind the play. Here comes Adam Bennett. Shoots. And that's deflected off the boards, and McGlynn is going to hang on to get the faceoff. 6:31 to go in the first period. 1-1 is the score.
It's also the score in Oshawa, where the Generals and Petes are tied in the first period. Jamie Pegg has scored for Peterborough, but Robbie Pearson has scored for Oshawa. His scoring streak extends to 40 consecutive games. Eric Lindros with an assist has run his streak to 36 consecutive games. This is a game that the Sudbury Wolves are watching very closely, because if Sudbury wins tonight and Peterborough loses, the two teams are tied for the final playoff spot in the Leighton Division.
Ryan Kuwabara, the Ottawa goal scorer in this game, extending his point scoring streak to 7 games. A couple of streaks going on this Ottawa team. The most impressive by Brett Seguin at 19 games heading into this one. DeFazio clears it down in for the Ottawa 67s. Jason Snow, number 11, up to forecheck, kept in at the line there. Gibson with a shot, blocked at the top of the slot. Stoss moves it up ahead for Mike Yeo. And from the sharp angle, that is tipped way up over the glass and out of play.
Well, Peter McGlynn's going to have to be sharp tonight, because the Sudbury Wolves create a lot of offensive opportunities. They counterattack very well. We just saw it a moment ago. Wade Gibson, the Ottawa defenseman, got trapped in the line. Sudbury broke out 3 or 4 men strong, and they very rarely do they not outshoot the other team. They played the Peterborough Petes yesterday. Coach Ken McKenzie so frustrated. They had 40-plus shots in that game. They lost 5-1. It means that they ran into a very hot goaltender in Peterborough's Andrew Werner. It also means that the Sudbury Wolves have some practice, need a little practice on the shooting range. But you'll see Wade Gibson at the top of your screen caught, and look at them break out of there. 4 guys. Now, fortunately, the Ottawa 67s are strong coming back. It just gives you a perfect example of how offensive-minded the Sudbury team is.
Six minutes to play first period, a 1-1 hockey game. This is Sean O'Donnell with it for the Sudbury Wolves. Didn't do much there. Skrypek clears it down in for the Ottawa 67s. wraps it off the boards. Here comes Kris Draper, trying to step around Bartley, and nothing doing there. Here comes Chitteroni. Kind of hesitates at the line, had trouble controlling the puck, put his teammate offside, and that basically messed up that play. 5:38 to go in the first period. You're watching CHL Sunday night on TSN.
One Tough Motor Oil announces one tough guarantee. The Quaker State 400,000 kilometers or 10-year guarantee. Register your new car at a participating service center. Then use only Quaker State. Have oil and filter changed as directed at a service center. And if any lubricated engine part suffers an oil-related breakdown within 400,000 kilometers or 10 years, you're covered. Quaker State guarantees it in writing. The big Q is one Tough Motor Oil.
Next week on CHL Sunday night, the regular season finale in the Western Hockey League as the Spokane Chiefs take on the Seattle Thunderbirds. 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific is the start time.
And that is going to be a whale of a game.
Well, they'll be rocking in the big Coliseum in Seattle, 14,000 strong.
Long shot in there off the stick of Wade Bartley. McGlynn steers that away. I have a feeling they'll have to get a little bit closer to McGlynn if they want to beat him. Here's Bartley. Intercepted. Seguin steps in. Tries to get it across in front. He had Kuwabara going for the net, but it's broken up. Still number 17 knocked away from him. Stoss can't get it out. And Broziak after it. Takes a chop at it back towards the line. Skrypek with a shot off the boards. Bounces around. Seguin digs it loose. Centers it in front. Knocked away by Tanner. Seguin took another swipe at it. Kept it at the point. Skrypek knocks it into the corner. Look at Tanner out of his net to play it. And he's got to hurry back. Fortunately for him, the Wolves able to maintain control. John Stoss stopped at the blue line. Stoss will try again with Pekka. Snell knocks it up ahead. And back come the 67s. Snell wheeling in towards the net. Just pokes it in there, and Tanner, very confident out to play it, just shoots it all the way down the ice.
Tanner's taking a few risks tonight coming out.
DeFazio knocked down, and Dave Lynch, the referee, fires the arm up in the air, and Glenn Murray will head off to the penalty box. The Ottawa 67s will get their second power play chance of the game.
Murray in doing the forechecking. Comes across, gets the stick out. One of those ones where it wasn't intentional, but there was no question it was a trip, and Lynch didn't have much choice but to call it. Glenn Murray, a potential first-round pick in this year's draft, rated 18th overall by NHL Central Scouting. Brian Kilrea's team will go to the power play. What we can watch for in this power play is they will try to work it back to Chris Snell on the point. Certainly number 6, if he can get the puck, will be the trigger man. Brian Kilrea's got a lot of faith in him. He's got the puck right now.
And we saw him do that in their earlier power play, and Snell got a couple of rockets off from the point. Draper works it in towards the front of the net. Taking a swipe at it there was Jerrett DeFazio, number 21, and again, Tanner straying from the net and almost getting caught. Here's Riccardi. Across in front, Snell with a shot, fake rebound, scooped away. Riccardi shooting. That is blocked. He had Rivers right on top of him. Riccardi keeps it in. Over to Snell. Intended for Riccardi, picked off by Sean Rivers, and he starts back. Able to just bide some time and dump it down. Peter McGlynn out of his net to play it. And offside called on the Wolves. Up there checking was number 18, Bob Berg. Bob Berg is the younger brother of Bill Berg, former Toronto Marley. And John Tanner is ailing right now. Berg, among others, cruising back to take a look at what's going on.
Well, trainer Jake Quinton out having a look at him. Certainly looks like a knee or a hamstring problem. Tanner was getting very physical there. I think he might have done something when he came out. He had a fair amount of contact in behind the net when he ventured out of his net. He came back in front. He wasn't too happy because after the puck cleared, he took a shot from behind. You see Tanner here get a little physical. Gets his... Oh, it's actually before that. And all of a sudden, maybe a muscle cramping up. For no reason, all of a sudden he seemed to drop down like he was shot.
And that is the backup goaltender, Dan Ryder. who's actually played more games this year than Tanner.
Tanner's quite a colorful character. Drafted by the Nordiques, started his OHL career with the Peterborough Petes, was traded last year to the London Knights. In fact, on a CHL Sunday night game last year, shut out the Sudbury Wolves as a member of the London Knights. Started the season in Quebec and seemed to be doing reasonably well for a team that was struggling, but did get sent back to London. They had a 3-goaltender system there that just simply wasn't going to work. John Tanner needs to be the #1 goaltender for him to be successful. They traded him to the Sudbury Wolves, and he's played very well for this team.
Shared a couple of Dave Pinkney trophies as part of the outstanding goaltending team with Todd Boysoon in Peterborough the last couple of years. Barry Young clears it in for the Sudbury Wolves. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go on the power play for the Ottawa 67s. 3:25 to play first period. 1-1 is the score. Seguin had it spin past him at center. Bennett takes a bump but gets it back. Ambrosiak up to Seguin. Takes a look, Ambrosiak going for the net. Seguin takes it to the corner. Back out in front, Riccardi whiffed at it and then dumps it through the slot. And Rivers is there. Can't get it out though. Nice play by Snell to keep it in. Here's Snell into the corner. Continues to go for the front of the net. Seguin, Ambrosiak with a shot. That's knocked down. And Ambrosiak is chopped and he's down. Dropping like flies the last couple of minutes.
John Tanner's not too happy either. He's leaning on his net. Ambrosiak is down. Barry Young, #3 for the Sudbury Wolves, make close contact here with Ambrosiak. Fires the stick out and catches him with a high stick across the face. Again, looked to be an unintentional follow-through. No penalty on the play. Ambrosiak momentarily stunned, but Tanner's having all sorts of problems back there. He made the save and then got very upset. Be interesting to see if something more than just an injury is bothering him.
Peter Ambrosiak, one of those late picks who was panned out well. He was an 11th round pick in 1988.
He's had a great season for the Ottawa 67s. Leads the team in game-winning goals with 9. Leads the team in power play goals with 11. And really benefits a lot from playing on a line with Brett Seguin, but he is maybe the most complete player on the team. He's always the first man back, yet now he's adding offense to his repertoire.
30 seconds left in the power play for Ottawa. Draper up there after it. Bartley trying to knock it away. Up there forechecking as well. Jamie Allen for Ottawa, #22, trying to get it loose. Allen. Relieved of the puck by Alistair Still, who comes back. He's got some room in the outside. And now is cut off, still in deep. Gets it right in front of the net. Kovacs flying by. Couldn't get good contact.
Great defensive play by Chris Snell to reach around and knock that puck off a Kovacs stick.
Teams back at even strength. The penalties expired. 2:14 to play in the first period. A 1-1 hockey game between the Ottawa 67s and the Sudbury Wolves. And the 67s making wholesale changes as the puck is dumped down into Sudbury territory. Lots of room for the Wolves to move it out. Kovacs out at center. Clears it down into the Ottawa zone, and now the Wolves make some changes of their own. Glenn Murray, #27, in the corner. Waiting for the reinforcements to come over the hill and help out, and he will at least get a face-off down in the offensive zone with 1:49 to play in the opening period.
9:34 and 59.
Jerrett DeFazio, his older brother Dean, once played in the National Hockey League for the Pittsburgh Penguins. A local boy, when he was originally drafted, said he would only play in one city in the OHL, and that was Ottawa. So he actually would have gone much higher. In fact, there were a lot of teams that rated him as the top player available in his draft year, and he went 12th overall to the 67s.
Scored 35 goals as a rookie. An outstanding rookie season. Here's Adam Bennett with some room, and that was low and wide to the short side. Back out now for Ottawa. Snow shooting it down in. 1:40 to go in the period. Snow moving up to forecheck, #11. Has it in the corner now. Takes a look. Trying to work it out in front. He had DeFazio there, but it gets caught up, and Tanner will hang on. And we'll get a face-off down in Sudbury territory with 1 minute and 33 seconds to go.
Well, Paul, we talk about high draft picks. Doesn't get much higher than Jamie Matthews 2 years ago. #2 overall behind Eric Lindros. Sault Ste. Marie took Eric Lindros #1. And the Sudbury Wolves took this Maritimer from Nova Scotia #2 overall. He's been a bit slow developing, but general manager Sam McMaster predicts he will still be an impact player in the Ontario Hockey League.
Jamie Matthews, the pride of Amherst, Nova Scotia. Beesby Sees some room, but can't get it in on goal. Rivers, who has played a great first period, controlling the puck now. He scored the only goal for the Sudbury Wolves. He went coast to coast to do it. And here comes Adam Bennett trying to do the same. Bennett takes a look, gets it across in front for Murray. Here's Rivers, shoots, dribbles through, loose in front of McGlynn, and it's gobbled up. DeFazio knocks it up ahead. Here comes Snow. Rattles it in around the boards. Bennett slips past DeFazio. DeFazio along the boards now trying to get it loose. Wolves controlling, less than a minute to go in the period. 1-1 hockey game. Here comes Matthews. Murray's up there with him. Pass across for Murray's knocked away. DeFazio trying to come back. Broken up. Berg in there. Poked away by McGlynn. The aggressive play by McGlynn pays off. Snow to Riccardi. 35 seconds to go in the period. Ottawa just dumping it in. Wade Bartley back to pick it up. Out at center for Chitteroni. Behind him, Simon starting back in now for Ottawa. Down the middle. Draper up there to join the rush. Pulled away. Murray giving a jolt. Simon shoots it back in. 15 seconds left in the period. Ottawa and Sudbury tied at 1. Barry Young. Forechecked ferociously by Allen, trying to get it loose. Here's Riccardi, 4 seconds left. Across now, Snell shooting. Tanner the stop, and time runs out in period number 1.
Well, John Tanner comes up with a couple of big saves late, but he is definitely favoring his leg. He's having all sorts of problems out there, complaining to the referee and the linesman on his way out. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a goaltending change in the second period. He seems to be in noticeable pain whenever he goes out to get a puck or pick up a rebound.
Lots of traffic in front of John Tanner, but he held his own, giving up only 1 goal. Peter McGlynn doing the same. After 1 period, it is 1-1.
Remember, bring down the shaft, feel the sticky legs, step back.
It's a part of life almost taken for granted. People know Canadian Tire will have the top brands and the low prices. When you think about it, nobody addresses Canada's needs so completely as the more than 400 addresses of Canadian Tire. Giving you the time to turn that raw talent into tomorrow's pro.
You know, son, the goalies are the real stars of this game.
We are capturing this magnificent bald eagle in his natural habitat with the zoom lens of the Sony TR Series Handycam. You can see for yourself the crisp, clear broadcast quality once achieved only by professional cameras. If you want your pictures to look this good, shoot them with the Sony TR Series Handycam. Take it from Sony. It has what it takes to take great pictures.
Fruit, cause the king bee gets the honey.
Spring is just around the corner in Ottawa, but doesn't look great in the wintertime in the National Capital Region, where the 67s and the Sudbury Wolves are tied at 1 after 20 minutes. This is action from early in the first period. Defenseman Adam Bennett streaks in short-handed, looking for goal number 20 on the year, but he's turned away by Peter McGlynn of the Ottawa 67s. So as of now, Adam Bennett remains at 19 goals, and he is our guest in our first intermission. Adam, you were so close.
That's the way things are going for me right now. I had the head up and I was looking for the top corner, and he gave it to me, but things just aren't going well for us, and we're having trouble as a team scoring goals. So it's kind of a reflection on maybe my part where I'm not getting the chances. But although McGlynn's playing a good game tonight, and he's kept him in the game.
Adam, your first-round pick of the Chicago Blackhawks a couple of years ago. Chicago was a team well known for the fact that it loves defense. And in fact, the Blackhawks have told you that to play in the NHL, you'll have to be a strong defensive player.
Yeah, well, I came back from camp, and you know, they told me to improve on defensive play and be a bit more aggressive and take control out on the ice. So I've tried to do that consistently throughout the year, and you know, put together some good games offensively and keep my totals up and contribute the best that I can to help this club win.
At 6'4", 210, do you feel like you have to play more physically in the OHL right now?
Yeah, I think if I'm going to make the next jump up to the NHL, that certainly have to improve every part of your game. And you know, I've worked hard over the season, you know, on and off the ice to try to do the best I can. And you know, fortunately, things are looking well for me. But you know, Chicago keeps rolling along. We'll have to see how it goes next year.
Adam Bennett, congratulations and good luck in your search for number 20.
Thank you very much.
Adam Bennett of the Sudbury Wolves, our guest in our first intermission. The Wolves and the Ottawa 67s are tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. CHL Sunday night on TSN continues in a moment.
MC Hammer, rap star and Pepsi drinker. Well, today, we secretly replaced his Pepsi with Coke. Let's see what happens.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings.
Hammer!
Rob.
Yeah, they've come light years in a relatively short length of time, you know, Tony. And I think they've done a great job of it. It's interesting to watch their progress. The cars just keep getting better and better. Well, I like Hyundai. Hyundai builds good cars. I've been to their plants, I've seen them being built, and they have the same high-tech machinery as other major manufacturers around the world. Right now, they're doing some good things. Yeah, good value for the money. They'll probably sell as many cars as they make. Well, I'm impressed with Hyundai, and I think they've done a great job of it. Yeah, they're a company to watch. Congratulations, Hyundai.
From Gillette comes Sensor, the only razor that can sense and adjust to the individual needs of your face. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and individually adjust to your face. The closest, safest, most comfortable Gillette Sensor, together with the richness of foamy shave cream for the best shave a man can get.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
Sharing photographs is so much fun. I'm always sending family members and friends a picture or two. My, have you aged? It's a nice way to be together without actually being together. Well, I don't think he heard you. Oh, and now with every roll of color film developed at Black's, you get a second set of big, beautiful prints and 5 photo mailing cards free.
Film to photo finishing. Black's is photography.
Boy, is this one.
The Wolves and the 67s tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play on CHL Sunday night. Last December, in a game between Ottawa and Sudbury, Grant Marshall of the 67s was checked from behind by Jason Young. And as a result of that, the lives of both players took a dramatic turn. Marshall went into the boards and broke his neck. Young was suspended for the rest of the season. Now, some of us wake up in the middle of a night after the nightmare and are thankful it's over. Grant Marshall, too, is glad that his ordeal is almost over. It was real, but he is now picking up the pieces. Here's Paul Romanuk with more.
Since December the 5th, this is how Grant Marshall has participated with his team, the Ottawa 67s, by watching and by listening. He watches and he listens and he thinks. He thinks about what happened on December the 4th in an Ontario Hockey League game between his team, the Ottawa 67s, and the Sudbury Wolves. When something bad happens to us, it's said that we remember it in slow motion.
Well, I remember when the puck came into the corner, and then it wasn't really in the corner, it was in between the net and the corner area. And I went to shove the puck around behind the net, And as I went down, I seen the tape cross-checked, and I went headfirst on the boards. And when I was lying on the ground, I felt I had no movement, no feeling at all, except for my right leg. It was the only thing I could move. And when I was down, my arms were under my chest, and I kept swearing, I kept saying everything, you know, I can't move, you know, I need help in that. And I had all this tingling and this pain in my most part, my left side, my fingers and everything, and I was just like, I was going nuts. I was scared, you know, scared as hell. And then when I got up, when they got me up, it was sort of, the pain was still there, but I was starting to feel a little better. I mean, I was conscious the whole time, but I just couldn't believe what happened. Like, I was thinking through, there was a boy in Mississauga, I heard when he got hit from behind, and he's in a wheelchair, paralyzed from the neck down. I was just thinking what happened to him too. And I just thought that could happen to me. I thought it was going to happen to me.
Well, Marcy was firing the puck around the board, so I only caught it out of the corner of my eye. But when I turned around, it was the scariest thing I'd ever seen, is seeing Marcy just lying on the ice and he couldn't move. And it was so scary because he couldn't move. And, you know, he's my partner, and that's what scared me the most.
I thought it was really severe, but I didn't think it was as severe as I had a broken neck. I thought I could have been like really separated shoulder or pulled tendons in the neck or something, but I knew it was serious, but I didn't think it'd be that serious.
Imagine lying in a hospital and not knowing.
I didn't know what was going on. You're by yourself, you know the team's going back on the bus going home to Ottawa, and here you are in the hospital by yourself, wondering, you know, what's going to come up with me, what's going to happen to me. And a lot of things are going through my mind.
Tell me about some of the things going through your mind.
About hockey, like what's going to happen with my hockey. I mean, hockey's my life, and I was on ice since I was 4. And I mean, I thought, you know, is it over, or what's going to happen to me? And then I thought, you know, wheelchair, what's going to be? Can I walk again? You don't know.
Grant Marshall will come back. He hopes to start skating again and be at training camp in the fall, and he gives a lot of credit to his teammates.
The guys, they're great guys. They always have fun fooling around, especially with this thing on. The coat rack, call me the coat rack. Killer calls me the coat rack. They throw the towels and the shower towels on me and that. It's all in fun. I mean, it's good that way when they sort of have fun. It makes you feel better and it eases the pain off.
All things considered, it is the spirit in Grant Marshall that becomes as obvious as the surgical steel halo that is bolted into his forehead.
Don't give your dream up, and if that's your dream, go for it. I don't think you should let it slide by just because, you know, it's a serious injury, yes, but if you want it bad enough, I think, you know, don't let it slow you down. Go for it.
Go for it, but don't forget. Then again, how could you forget?
Well, people ask me, like, you know, are you going to get him back? And I'm not going to cheap shot him. I'm not going to do what he did to me, because that's just, it's gutless and it's not right. What's done is done. I mean, I'm not trying to, I don't want to look back at it and, you know, keep going over it, but he feels, I'm sure, like, I don't think he meant to do what he did. I mean, no one wants to do that, I don't think. But he did it, and it's wrong. I asked him why. Like, you always ask yourself too, why did it happen to you? And, you know, you sort of ask why. Why did you do that? Like, you know, why hit from behind? You know.
To be sure, the life of Grant Marshall will never be the same, nor, for that matter, will Jason Young. Jason Young was reinstated by the OHL last week. He'll be in the Sudbury lineup when the Wolves begin the postseason next weekend. Our first intermission will continue in a moment here on CHL Sunday night, with Ottawa and Sudbury tied at a goal apiece. We'll be right back to the Civic Centre.
People who think all motor oils are the same should have their heads examined. Just look at his head. See the sludge that can build up? The scoring on this piston. And this metal wearing away because someone didn't give their oil a second thought. Well, think about it. And switch to premium Valvoline all climate. Beats every car manufacturer's warranty specs. There's nothing rated higher than Valvoline. Nothing.
Presenting the Munchies, an IQ test. Let's begin. The Munchies are A, Greek gods of money, B, a breed of tiny cattle, C, a rock group in China, D, stomach rumbles caused by hunger that attack at any time. If you said B, go to the head of the class, go to the mouth of your head with a fresh, crisp, counter-attacking hostess potato chip. When you've got the Munchies, nothing else will do. Hostess potato chips. Munchies attack at any time.
Great defense starts with your feet. And I have MVP feet. That's why I play in the pump from Reebok. When I'm pumped up, I get support, protection, and a custom fit that's unbeatable. I made hot dog, but when it comes to protection, this is no bull. Pump up and air out.
Switch to the greatest sports performance shoe in the world, the Reebok Pump. Pump up and air out. As the players return to the ice for the second period, we present the Air Canada play of the period. It comes midway through the first. Sean Rivers of Sudbury goes coast to coast, then splits the Ottawa defense and beats Peter McGlynn. Beautiful goal. It was the first of the hockey game, and it's our Air Canada play of the period. The play of the period presented by Air Canada, going above and beyond. We'll be right back to Ottawa on CHL Sunday night in just a moment.
GMC and Chevrolet compact pickups have lower operating costs than a similarly equipped Ford Ranger. So when it's feeding time, you'll appreciate their small appetite. No other compact pickups have a better resale value than GM. Better than all the domestics. Better than all the imports. So when it comes time to sell, you can count on big bucks. Banking, and then there's Scotia Banking. We shop in the same stores you do. We know what a dollar buys and how hard it can be to make ends meet. We've got families to raise and taxes to pay, and we worry about nursing the car through another winter just like you. So when we talk to you about Scotiabank services, we're not trying to sell you something you don't need. We're trying to help. Scotiabanking means believing in people and proving it every day.
Reviewing the scoring from the first period, Sean Rivers begins it midway through the first with that great end-to-end rush and a nice shot. His 17th goal of the season comes at 10:05 and puts Sudbury on top by a score of 1-0. But just seconds after that, Jeff Riccardi with the great effort in the right-hand corner feeds Ryan Kuwabara, who fights off the check and scores his 32nd of the year, and that ties the game at 1. The goals come just 40 seconds apart, and Ottawa outshoots Sudbury 12-5, although the teams are deadlocked after 20 minutes. Let's go upstairs now to Paul and Bob.
Well, Ryan Kuwabara, the goal scorer for Ottawa in that first frame, and you saw a great example of his strength scoring that goal. They just couldn't move him out of the slot.
Well, John Tanner looks as though he will be able to go back in, although he's talking to Ken McKenzie, perhaps telling Ken, have the backup ready, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it. He was certainly favoring his leg in the latter few minutes of that period. It'll be interesting to see if he can carry on through this whole game.
Talking to John Tanner briefly before the game, came walking into our studio before the hockey game. Big pair of snakeskin cowboy boots.
He's a colorful character, very outspoken, although he says he's trying to tone down his image a little bit. He's liable to say or do just about anything.
Well, those snakeskin boots won't help much. Teams start the period at even strength. Wade Bartley, number 8 for the Sudbury Wolves. Knocked down, Sagan steals. He is in turn knocked down. Gets it in front for Ambrosiak. And then he pulls a man down. No penalties. And actually referee Dave Lynch now fires the arm up. And a penalty coming up. It will go against the Ottawa 67s. And it comes only 25 seconds into our second period.
Anytime, any place, you're my all-time favorite. You're my first-class entertainment.
Peter Ambrosiak off for tripping. The 67s were on the attack The puck was turned back over, and Broziak reached behind and hauled down number 18 for the Sudbury Wolves, Bob Berg.
So it is power play time for the Sudbury Wolves. 0 for 1 with the man advantage. Just underway in the second period. I'm Paul Romanuk with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller. CHL Sunday night on our final regular season look at the Ontario Hockey League. And we'll be back for at least one game during the playoffs, perhaps a couple. John Tanner steps out of the net and is dumped, but that is not going to be a goal. A penalty coming up.
Ryan Kuwabara is going to pick up a penalty for running into the goaltender. The 67s think they've scored, so do the fans here. Referee Dave Lynch has another idea on that one. Kuwabara knocked the goaltender down and then pulled the puck back out and tucked it in. There's the loose puck. And in fact, you know, Kuwabara did knock him flying, but if you get another look at that replay, you'll see that the goaltender, Tanner, came out and actually threw himself in front of Kuwabara. It was actually interference on the part of the goaltender, but it came back the other way. We have the benefit of the replay, the referee does, and I could understand how easy it would be to think that Kuwabara just knocked the goaltender over, but Tanner put himself in a position to be knocked over. Good forechecking by Kris Draper, very aggressive penalty killing. Number 2, Adam Bennett turns it over, and there you see it. He stepped right out and stepped in Kuwabara's way, and Kuwabara just bowled him right over.
So Kuwabara is off. A 2-man advantage now for the Sudbury Wolves for the next minute and 43 seconds. Seguin, Snell, and Riccardi, the triumvirate out there for the Ottawa 67s, trying to kill off this 2-man advantage for the Sudbury Wolves. Here's Adam Bennett for the Wolves. Up to Jamie Matthews. Got Berg and Murray with him up front. They couldn't work anything that time. Here's Sean Rivers. Up to Bob Berg. Ahead for Matthews. Snell steals it. Matthews pulls it away, gets it in front. Bennett scores! Adam Bennett makes it 2-1 Sudbury.
Well, Adam Bennett retrieves the puck, his 20th of the year. He made no mistake there. Puck gets turned over along the boards here. Good power play. 2 men on the puck. Turn that over. Jamie Matthews, a heads-up play to get it out to Bennett in the slot. And Bennett did what he tried to do earlier, and that is get it up high. On the first breakaway, he had short-handed in the first period. He had the shot, didn't really get it up as high as he wanted to on McGlynn. That time, he made no mistake. He's got goal number 20 on the year.
Jamie Matthews and Bob Berg pick up the assists on Bennett's 20th. And that nullifies one penalty, but Sudbury still with a man advantage for the next minute and 30 seconds. That goal scored with a 2-man advantage. Riccardi back to get it. Sean Rivers, number 24. Comes out for the Sudbury Wolves. 1:10 to go on the Wolves' man advantage. Here's Adam Bennett. Trying to sneak by Riccardi, knocked away. Chitteroni across to Rivers. All the way up, trying to spot Murray, but it's tapped away over the glass by Jeff Riccardi. Glenn Murray, number 27, another Maritimer on this Sudbury team. He's from Halifax, Nova Scotia. And he was Sudbury's second pick in 1989. One of the leading scorers on this team. Has 13 power play goals.
Well, Brian Kilrea's not too happy right now, with good reason. Not only did his team have a goal nullified on the call by Dave Lynch, they also had a goal scored against them, and they still have to kill off another 57 seconds.
Wade Bartley, number 8 for the Sudbury Wolves. Second round pick of the Washington Capitals in 1988. Bartley still. Kovacs trailing. A couple of players going for the front of the net. John Stoss, one of them, back to Kovacs, who whistles it wide. Stoss after it in the corner now. Gets it away from Snell. Gets past Chitteroni. Here's Kovacs. Looking for Stoss in front. Stoss right in front. Couldn't get it upstairs to McGlynn. And the 67's able to clear the zone.
Go, go, go.
O'Donnell Up for Stoss to Chitteroni. Runs into Riccardi. Here's Keesby. Up ahead, Sagan. O'Donnell knocks it away. Penalized player back on. Teams at even strength. 17:09 to play in the second period. 2-1 hockey game. Sudbury Wolves leading the hometown Ottawa 67s. And here comes Ryan Kuwabara. Gets it across in front. Puck zipped on goal. Simon didn't get much behind it, and it's cleared away. Riccardi. DeFazio. Knocked down by Allen. He comes in with Simon. Simon was going for the net, comes up off the boards. Clancy, number 25, working over along the boards with Jeff Riccardi. Across for Allen, off his skate and back outside of the blue line. Here come the Wolves back. Convery spun around out there at center. Here's Young. Still, up ahead. Onto the stick now, trying to come in over the line is Etches. Gets it back. Convery with a shot knocked away. Allen up ahead at center for Clancy. Hits the line with Snell trailing. Clancy still being beaten up down in the corner, trying to get away from Barry Young. Puck loose at the side. Young will pick it up now. Barry Young for the Wolves. Up to Alistair Still, number 17. Up ahead to Matthews. Back for Still. Rivers shooting. McGlynn way out of his net to challenge, and the gamble pays off. Here's Snell being watched by Matthews. Murray back to the top of the point. Bennett keeps it in for Rivers with a shot. That goes off the stick of Allen. Berg after it now. Gets it in front. Bouncing puck. McGlynn can't hang on to it. Skrypek up around the boards and gets it out to relieve the pressure.
Several good chances for the Sudbury Wolves. Sean Rivers all over the ice, getting 2 or 3 shots on that last shift. He's really been impressive so far in this game.
He is having a great hockey game. Has one of the Wolves' goals. Here's McGlynn way out of his net. Bennett shoots. Hit the side of the net after it went off the skate of Wade Gibson. Loose in front still. Berg with a chance. Shooting. McGlynn will hang on.
Well, McGlynn makes a save on Bob Berg, but he was nowhere to be found when that puck came back to the point. And if it was not for Wade Gibson, number 5 for the Ottawa 67s, it would be a 3-1 hockey game. You'll see the goaltender McGlynn come way out, clears it up and right onto the stick of a Sudbury player. And actually Gibson got a skate on it, but it did make it way through. Adam Bennett takes the shot. And on this one, a good job by Berg to get around. McGlynn down, but Berg couldn't get it over top of him. And that's the 3rd time this game that McGlynn has robbed Berg.
Is there something about that end in the first period when John Tanner, the Sudbury goalie, was at that end? He was rather adventurous on a few occasions coming out of his net. And now Peter McGlynn doing likewise for the Ottawa 67s.
Well, the graduate of the Kingston Junior Bees in his 2nd year in the Ontario Hockey League. Certainly some nomadic tendencies there. The worst part about it was that he cleared a weak shot off the boards directly to Adam Bennett. And Adam Bennett fired it right at the net. Gibson made the save.
And down at the glass, that is number 21, Jerrett DeFazio, who was talking to one of the rink attendants through the glass. And I suspect he might be relaying some information about Kris Draper, who has disappeared. He left the ice during the last Ottawa penalty. He headed down towards the 67's dressing room and has not come out. And he looked to be okay. He was walking down under his own power, but I have not seen him reappear. And I suspect that that information was being relayed to Brian Kilray. Up ahead, Kovacs comes in. Taking a look for the front of the net for Chitteroni. Couldn't get it to him, however. O'Donnell back at the line. Hurries to keep it in front for Kovacs. Tried to tip it through. A backhander is blocked. Kovacs, a couple of chops. Couldn't get it on goal. Adam Bennett keeps it in. Peter McGlynn out of his net. Finds himself quickly surrounded, so he moves it up around the boards. Chris Simon starting back now for Ottawa. Coming in. He's got Stone with him. Simon in front for Stone. Bouncing pucks. And Clancy overskated it too. Here come the Wolves back. Clancy in with Simon. Big stop. Rebound in front. Simon flies by and they score. No goal.
quite sure what referee Dave Lynch is waving it off for. We'll find out in a moment. Perhaps knocked in with the glove. Didn't look to be a high stick. Clancy comes down the left-hand side, fires a shot. The big rebound comes out, right up there, and it was batted in by a hand. A good call by referee Dave Lynch. Simon just knocked that in with his glove. Clancy gets off the real good snapshot right here, and the rebound comes up very high. The goaltender, Tanner, couldn't get it. And as Simon skated by, had it in front of him. The camera blocked by that, but he knocked it in.
And Kris Draper just coming back out of the dressing room. Well, that was being sorted out. And he is okay, likely just having some equipment adjusted. Puck cleared in by Feasby, knocked away. Loose at the side of the net. Draper trying to get loose. He's tied up there by Barry Young. And Broziak, number 12, comes up with it. Out in front, just off the stick of Feasby, and here come the Wolves back. 2-on-1. Yo, in front. Puck fired just high and wide of the net by Brandon Convery. Here's Draper back to pick it up. Kuwabara with Draper. Gets it to him. Draper tied up by Alistair Still, and the puck just chopped wide. Wade Bartley off the boards. Kuwabara keeps it in. Not for long, though. Offside called on the Ottawa 67s. 13-13 to go in the second period. 2-1 the score, and Brandon Convery with a great chance seconds ago to make it 3-1.
Well, Paul, it started very early as a 3-on-1 and then came down to a 2-on-1. Yo comes down the left wing, lays a perfect pass over. McGlynn is beaten. There's a wide open net there, and Convery just fires it right over the top. Convery gets an offensive flair. Had all sorts of room to put that one away, but McGlynn did get over and get the big glove up, forcing him to shoot it high, and in that case, right over top of the crossbar.
And Convery, as you mentioned, a gifted offensive player. He just turned 17 years old. He's not even eligible for the NHL draft this year. He's not eligible till 1992.
1992, and he's expected to be a first rounder, and right now people are talking like he may be. It's too early to really nail down a number, but certainly top half of the first round. He captained Ontario to the Canada Games gold medal this year.
Here's Adam Bennett. Up ahead, pass was just behind the intended receiver, Bob Burr. Here comes Allen back in. Gets it in front. Weak shot snapped on goal by DeFazio. And Tanner is down again.
Tanner having all sorts of problems tonight.
And out comes the trainer again. And you can see Tanner laughing.
Some traffic in front. You see him knock the puck off, and
that might have knocked him down.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think there's some pretty good showmanship going on right here. Not that he didn't take a stick in the mask. There's no question about that. He makes the save, knocks the puck out. Number 22, Jamie Allen, did crease him across the mask, but I think that we're going to give him an Oscar for that one.
Oh, you can see he's got a bit of a smile on his face.
He is something of an eccentric. He was featured in a book this year by Bob Oliver, a look at many major junior players and their quest to become National Hockey Leaguers, the making of champions. If you get a chance, you should read it. It gives a good insight into junior hockey. And in the case of John Tanner, gives an insight into a very mature young, a very intelligent young man who's very outspoken too.
Tanner's back up. And Kris Draper at center for the Ottawa 67s. The reason he went to the dressing room, he had to have 3 more rivets put into his skates. And doesn't look to have lost a step at all. Here's Draper. Trying to get it towards the front of the net. Chitteroni breaks it up. And the Wolves come back. 12:25 to play, second period. 2-1 hockey game. Sudbury on top. Kovac centers it. Gets past Chitteroni and all the way back out. Wade Bartley waiting for his mates to get on side, dumping it in. Here's Chris Snell, back of the Ottawa net. Pass way too far for Draper. Kovac sends it in. He'll move up to forecheck. Here's Bartley. Had Chitteroni open on the wing, couldn't get it to him. Draper steals. He tries to fire it up. Up for Snell. Chris Simon, number 18, up after it. Just skates behind Tanner. In front for Draper. He had an open net as Tanner was hurrying back in. Here's Gibson. Back at the line. Good job to keep it in. Off the boards. Simon going after it. So is Jason Snow, number 11. Draper, side of the net, couldn't get control. And back comes Chitteroni for Sudbury. He's got Stoss with him. Chitteroni tried to drop it there for Stoss. Stoss giving chase into the boards. Eludes Gibson. Back out O'Donnell with a shot. McGlynn kicks it away. Here's DeFazio for Ottawa. Gets it out. 11:15 to play. Second period. 2-1. Sudbury leading the Ottawa 67s. This is Wade Gibson now for Ottawa. Dumping it down in. John Tanner out of his net. What else is new? And the puck goes up over the glass and out of play. 2-1 the score. And who says hockey isn't an intimate game?
Finally, a cordless drill that just won't quit. The Black & Decker Univolt. With more torque than its leading competitor and more than 100 watts out of power. Only one thing stops the Univolt. The industrial strength Black & Decker Univolt. The industrial tool division of Black & Decker presents an industrial strength guarantee. If you're not satisfied with any tool we make, we'll take it back. Guaranteed.
Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds lead Kitchener 2-1 in the first intermission. The Greyhounds still have a shot at first place in the M's division. They trail Niagara Falls by 4 points with 3 games to play.
Sault Ste. Marie winners of their last 2, and they're chasing a team that is really hot. The Niagara Falls Thunder have won the last 6.
Well, I'm picking right now the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds to come out of that division in the Ontario Hockey League playoffs. You heard it here first.
Puck off the boards, past Feasby, and Jeff Riccardi skating back after it for Ottawa. And icing called on Sudbury. So you're picking them to come out of the division or out of the league?
Out of the division. I haven't really done the full prognostication on the Leyden division yet. I'm going to wait until the end of the season before I go out on that limb.
And I would gather you would favor the Oshawa Generals perhaps to come out of the league?
I would favor them, but I don't think that this is going to be nearly as big a runaway as a lot of people think. Look at the CHL standings rankings over the course of the year, and Oshawa's been right at the top, and everybody thinks it's guaranteed they're going to be Memorial Cup. Too tough a division. These 2 teams out here tonight both have good records against the Oshawa Generals.
Feasby back after it for Ottawa, number 3. Up around the boards to his teammate Jerrett DeFazio, number 21. Clancy chopping at it, gets it out and up for Snow. Snow comes in, DeFazio going for the net. There's the pass just over the stick of DeFazio. Here comes number 3, Barry Young. Back in, tries to go all the way, ends up in the corner. Can't get it in front. Brandon Convery was loose. Young again. Pulled away by Clancy. Here's Adam Bennett. 10 minutes to go, second period. We've hit the halfway point of the game. 2-1, Sudbury leading Ottawa. Feasby, number 3, back to pick it up. Stone. Up for Riccardi. Matt Stone, number 24. Bumped by another number 24, Sean Rivers. Chris Snell, number 6, back there to pick it up for Ottawa. And that is Bob Berg way up there trying to pester him. Up ahead to Stone. In over the line. He's got Draper with him. Back for Snell. Top of the slot. And then he ran headlong into number 24, Sean Rivers. Here comes Matthews rushing it back. Gets it across in front of the net. Intended for Murray, but he was being tied up on the play. Draper was draped all over Murray. 9:10 to go, second period. 2-1 hockey game. Sudbury leading. Matthews up the middle to Murray. Matthews now. Shoots. Rebound. Murray a shot. McGlynn stops it. Loose at the side. Snell will pick it up now. Back out for Ottawa. He's got Seguin breaking to his left. Gets it to him now. Seguin. Tried to get it back to Snell. He'll come over and get it now. Kuwabara's in front. Skripek. Backhand shot. Knocked down. And he will hurry back. Jerry Skripek. Up ahead for Brett Seguin. He is run down by Glenn Murray. Down the middle. Berg trying to come in. Had Chitteroni with him. Kuwabara up ahead. Sagan will loft it in, and that clears the glass and goes into the crowd. And that'll get a stoppage with 8:21 to go in the second period.
Well, Paul, trivia time. Time for a little trivia test. The CHL variety, and there's the question: who holds the OHL record for most points in a season? I'll leave that one for you, Paul.
No problem. Got it already. Just like he got it. Sagan was just getting set to wheel away, and it was low bridge as Glenn Murray ran him over. .8:21 to play, second period, 2-1 hockey game, Sudbury leading. Sean Rivers and Adam Bennett scoring for Sudbury, Ryan Kuwabara scoring for Ottawa.
You will give us that trivia answer on the next whistle, right, Paul? You think you're double-checking your work right now, are you?
Will do. In and wide goes Stas. Had a good chance earlier in this period. Gets it back out for Bennett. Side of the net for Chitteroni. Couldn't put it away. Stas comes over after it. Cleared away from him. O'Donnell at the blue line was backpedaling. Kept it in momentarily. Here's DeFazio back. Clears it down in for the 67s. Here's Kovacs. O'Donnell. Back up for Sudbury. And the pass way behind Stas. McGlynn out of his net. And this could create a scoring chance. It will. Here comes Allen. Shoots. A rocket for the top corner. Sings wide. Clancy after it. Number 25. Greg Clancy can't come up with it. Here comes Kovacs. He's got Convery trailing. Kovacs in there. Just flips it wide. Picks it up again. McGlynn will stop that and hang on. And we'll get a face-off down in Ottawa territory.
A heads-up offensive play by number 12, Brandon Convery, to put the puck through. Just watch the heads-up play here. He just slides it in. A nice touch to Bill Kovacs, and an equally fine play by Peter McGlynn. Really been impressed with McGlynn's heads-up action tonight. Twice he's come out to poke check opposing forwards. Well, Paul, there we go.
The answer is B, Bobby Smith, the former Ottawa 67.
192 points. Closest anyone ever came was Wayne Gretzky to catching him. That was in the same season, as a matter of fact.
I remember the season. What a scoring race that was. A young Wayne Gretzky with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. His one and only season in the Ontario Hockey League. Draper lets it go. Riccardi chops it just wide. Here's Draper. Turned around, but it's poked away from him by Derek Etches. 6:50 to play, second period. 2-1. Sudbury leading Ottawa. Allen lets it go up ahead. Here's Draper now with Allen trailing. Draper in there. Tanner the save. Rebound. Allen took a swipe at it on the flyby, but couldn't put it in. Off the boards. Riccardi going after it. Number 17, Alistair Still for the Wolves gets it down. Beesby with a man right on him managed to get there first, and icing is called on the Sudbury Wolves. You're watching CHL Sunday night on TSN.
Many Canadians live in isolated areas. They visit the city to take in the culture, the fine restaurants, the symphony, the theater, and genuine Canadian beer. Molson Canadian, what beer's all about.
Preseason baseball Friday, March 15th on TSN as the Mets take on the Blue Jays at Skydome. Could this be a World Series preview? Well, it's probably a little early to say that just yet, but it should be a dandy. We'll have it for you at 7:30 Eastern Time.
Don't even start talking about the World Series yet.
Well, come on, Paul. They won their last exhibition game. That makes them World Series contenders.
Hey, get on the bandwagon. There's not going to be much room. Matthews rolling it down in for the Sudbury Wolves. Skrypek. Up for Snell. To Kuwabara. Sagan. Nice pass across for Ambrosiak. shoots, and he had Bennett on him and couldn't land it on goal.
4-6-7-9-6-4-9-2. Brian Kilray calls Peter Ambrosiak his designated back checker. He's always the first man coming back, but this year he has blossomed as an offensive hockey player. Playing on the left side with Brett Sagan, he gets a lot of nice passes from Sagan. He was originally going to go to U.S. college, but Brian Kilray and the boys talked him into coming to play for the Ottawa 67s in the Ontario Hockey League.
Tonight, by the car lucky number holders, please report to the penalty bench at the end of the period.
Matthews facing off against Sagan. Matthews' stick rides up, and they glare at one another before they break away. Sagan after it. Gave Murray a bit of a rub. Didn't really get much weight behind it.
Go, go, go.
Kuwabara up to forecheck. Stiff arm and knocked down by Adam Bennett. A couple of pretty big players hooking up there in that little matchup. Draper for Ottawa. Can't get it out. Intended for Berg, intercepted, and back comes Kuwabara. Ambrosiak going for the net, so is Snell. Snell shoots. Tanner fires out the pad and makes the save. Puck still loose and the pressure's still on. Ambrosiak picks it up. Looking in front for Kuwabara. Back instead to the point. Skripek moves it in. Knocked down, delayed penalty coming up, and it is going to be against the Sudbury Wolves. So the Ottawa 67s with a chance to tie this one up on the power play.
Well, Wade Bartley, number 8, put the big hold on Kuwabara's stick. That was a matchup we saw in the first period. Bartley trying to hold Kuwabara in the slot. Kuwabara broke free, too strong for Bartley, and scored that goal in the first period. This time holding on to a stick, he's going to go off for holding.
And Peter McGlynn cooling off just a little bit.
Wade Bartley, 2 minutes.
And Wade Bartley will do the same for the next couple of minutes as a result of this.
Referee Dave Lynch catches Bartley holding on just a little too long right there as Kuwabara goes for the loose puck. And Lynch was right on the scene, having pretty much the same view as our camera.
Power play now for Ottawa. And a boarding penalty coming up as a result of that great hit right off the faceoff. And Dave Lynch obviously felt it was a little bit more than just a great hit.
Well, I'd want to have another look at that one. It certainly was a rock'em sock'em hit back there by Jamie Allen. Here he comes around the net. And I suppose in the strictest sense of the rules, it was boarding. You see a lot of that quite often. It goes unchecked. Certainly wasn't a hit from behind, but Jamie Allen's going off for running into number 24, Sean Rivers.
So that power play lasting all of 6 seconds.
A little surprised. Brian Kilray is composing himself very well tonight. The model of comportment behind the bench. He's not always that way, and I'm surprised he's not up on the boards giving Lynch an earful right now.
There's a camera about 6 feet to the left of him.
Well, that's why I'm a little surprised he's not up on the boards. Killer's never been known as a shrinking violet.
5:03 to play, second period. Teams at even strength. Each team down a man. 2-1 the score. Sudbury Wolves are on top. Rivers moves it up. Here comes O'Donnell. Got some room. Gets outside. O'Donnell still gets it in front. Stoss chops at it, but can't get it on goal. Here's Stoss now. Looking. Chitteroni's in front. Can't get it to him. Draper breaks it up and starts back out for Ottawa. Draper coming up. Trying to do it himself. Gets around Rivers now, takes a look. He's got Beesby back in the net. Draper gets it in front. Shot fired by Riccardi, knocked away by Tanner. Here's Draper again. Gives it away to Rivers, who clears the zone. Chitteroni gets there first. He's got Stoss with him. Ambrosiak over to check. Here's Adam Bennett. Centers it across in front of the net. Nobody home. Young now with a shot. McGlynn to save, and he clears the rebound himself. 4 minutes to play, second period. 2-1, Sudbury leading. Adam Bennett with Kovacs coming in over the blue line. Kovacs going for the net, so's Bennett. Young fans on it. And the 67s break quickly, but not quickly enough. Bennett gets back to take down Len DeVono. And the fans howling for a penalty that's not going to be called. Here's Snell. Shoots. Rebound. Just wide. And Broziak had the chance, and Tanner got just enough of it. The puck took a bite of his arm and spun away from the goal line. DeVono moves it up. Here comes Ambrosiak shooting, and Tanner will this time.
Well, two good chances for Ambrosiak. Fired that one, but Tanner made the save. A few moments earlier, he picked up the rebound in front of the net. Fired it. Tanner made the save, but the puck floated back out the other side. Good defensive play a few moments ago by Adam Bennett, where he rushes back. He was caught way up the ice, came back there, howling for a penalty. Just good, hard-nosed defense. And then Chris Snell fires a shot, and Ambrosiak, with Kovacs all over him, managed to get a shot, pick up that rebound. Tanner made the save, but the puck trickled oh so close to the goal line, but out the other side into the corner.
And he just got a piece of it. Snell with the shot, and Ambrosiak was right there with the rebound. 3:11 to go, second period. Sudbury up by a goal. Adam Bennett scoring the go-ahead goal on a power play, 1:08 into this second period. Sean Rivers scored back in the first period for the Wolves. Ryan Kuwabara with the lone goal for Ottawa. I'm Paul Romanek with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller. CHL Sunday night on TSN. Here's DeFazio. That goes off the skate. Nothing much accomplished there. Wade Bartley trying to get it out. Scott Feasby, number 3. Trying to get it up along the boards for Kuwabara. Here's Bob Bird. Riccardi, number 19, in there after it. Getting tangled up with Glenn Murray. Riccardi working him over. Bird comes up to pick it up. Gets it out in front for O'Donnell, but it's intercepted. Never quite made it to O'Donnell. Here comes DeFazio. Back now for Ottawa. He's got Clancy trailing. Can't get it to him, though. Bird being watched. Jeff Riccardi across for Scott Feasby. And Kuwabara touches it, but DeFazio was caught in offside. 2:04 to go in the second period. It's 2-1 for Sudbury.
Oshawa leads Peterborough 3-2. They've now played 2 full periods. A Peterborough loss coupled with a Sudbury win would leave the 2 teams tied for the final playoff spot. And of course, whoever finishes in that final playoff spot gets Oshawa in the first round next week.
And that would certainly be drawing the short straw, although Sam McMaster, general manager of the Sudbury Wolves, says he wouldn't mind playing Oshawa in the first round. His team going 3-4-1 against them over the course of the regular season. Puck work loose. Simon looking around. Gets it out in front off a skate and out. Here comes Alistair Still. Gets to it. Back for Convery. He is spun around by Snell, and back comes Snell. Up there with Draper. Snell waits and just kind of feathers it in. Simon up after it. He's got Draper back of the net. Gets it to him. Draper, side of the goal, can't work it in. Draper still. Simon is in front. Big shot from DeVono. Doesn't get on goal. Here's another chance. DeVono shoots. Tanner the save. Still loose in front of the net. Here's Snell. He's got a rocket and uses it, and it's knocked away that time. Down into the corner, that is Jamie Allen. All over his man, Barry Young. And that will call for a meeting of everybody on the ice.
Well, Jamie Allen
been their 2 cents worth.
Sorry, Paul. Jamie Allen getting very physical out there for the Ottawa 67s. He had that boarding penalty earlier, and there he just plowed Barry Young over. A big hit here, right up close to the boards again, and boy, did he ever maul Barry Young. And Barry Young's a pretty tough defenseman. Jamie Allen really put him down. A 4th-year guy from the Ontario Hockey League. Windsor's first-round pick in 1987 from Brockville, and as a rookie, he went to the Memorial Cup with the Windsor Compuware Spitfires. He was picked up at the trade deadline. He's an overage player for the Ottawa 67s, and Brian Kilray was looking for a little depth on his team. He says Allen provides that and outstanding leadership in the dressing room. Maybe more valuable in the room than he is on the ice, which is no disrespect to the way he plays.
He played with Kingston last year, coached by Larry Mavety, and he's a real Mavety-type player.
Well, in fact, it was Mavety who called Kilray and says, if you can get this guy, go ahead and get him. Larry Mavety, of course, very good friends with Brian Kilray, and there's a couple of players on this team, Scott Feasby, another one, recommended by Mavety.
Riccardi shoots. That takes off and is knocked down. Bartley gets it up ahead. Stoss across in front for Kovacs. He was tied up and knocked down by Feasby. 45 seconds to play, second period. The Wolves up by a goal. Stoss along the boards. Good work to stay away from Seguin. Chitteroni back for Stoss. It's broken up. Riccardi. Up ahead now. Seguin. Cross face intended for Ambrosiak. That's poked away. Bennett comes back. Gets it up into the line for Stoss to Chitteroni. Kovacs going for the net, but Chitteroni is dumped. 20 seconds left in the period. Here comes Feasby back in for Ottawa. In deep, Seguin in front, so is Ambrosiak. Neither could get it. Feasby in deep. And back behind the play, Terry Chitteroni laboring to the Sudbury bench with 8 seconds to go. Seguin is in front for Ottawa. Back to Feasby, shoots, that is blocked, 2 seconds left. And time will run down in period number 2, but of concern over on the Sudbury bench is number 15, Terry Chitteroni, who was laboring towards the bench from deep in the Ottawa zone at the end of the period.
Well, the 67s have to hope that Chitteroni is not seriously injured, because he's a key player on that team. And they don't mind losing this hockey game, but they would hate to lose Terry Chitteroni.
After a couple of periods, the score is 2-1. The Ottawa 67s at home, trailing against the visiting Sudbury Wolves. Second intermission is on deck with a preview. Here's Gord Miller.
Coming up in our second intermission, we'll have a TSN update as well. We'll talk to Earl Montagano, the president of the 67s, about the future of junior hockey in Ottawa, and Bob McKenzie will have his thoughts in Bob's notebook. Our second intermission is next as the Sudbury Wolves lead the Ottawa 67s 2-1 here on CHL Sunday night.
Lots of motor oils claim to be tough. Quaker State puts it in writing. Ask your participating service center about Quaker State's tough lubrication guarantee. Only a tough motor oil can make a guarantee this tough. Quaker State is one tough motor oil. For any season, for any reason, turkey fits your favorite taste. Enjoy turkey. It's your choice for today and tomorrow.
Membership in some clubs can involve some rather strange rituals, like secret handshakes, interesting fashion statements, and certain tests. But when you join the Sears Club, all you have to do is use your Sears card to collect points. Points that can be redeemed for almost anything in the store or catalog. As a result, Sears Club members tend to have little rituals as well. Welcome to the club.
The Canadian Hockey League interrupts your winter with a little color. Hey, that's not color. We now return you to your regularly scheduled winner, the Canadian Hockey League. Catch the stars of tomorrow. Today.
Somewhat surprisingly, Sudbury leads Ottawa 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. And while we've been busy keeping an eye on this hockey game, the gang at our TSN Control Center is busy keeping an eye on what else is going on in the world of sports. Here's a TSN update.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to TSN Control. I'm Teresa Hergert with a quick recap of the weekend in sport. The final of the 1991 Labatt Brier was played today in Hamilton. It would be former World Junior Champion Kevin Martin and his Alberta rink up against Saskatchewan's Randy Wojtowicz. The winner would be crowned Canadian champion and would represent Canada at the World Championships. But interestingly enough, in round-robin play, Wojtowicz and his Saskatchewan rink defeated Kevin Martin's rink, but it didn't matter. Today, this was the final. First end, Saskatchewan with last rock. Randy Wojtowicz with the open draw for 2. He makes it as the rock stops on the 4-foot. 2-0 Saskatchewan after 1. In the second end, Alberta bounces right back. Kevin Martin knocks out the Saskatchewan stone and lies 2. Game tied at 2 after 2. In the fourth end, Randy Wojtowicz retakes the lead. A great shot here. Knocks out the Alberta stone. Counts 1. 3-2 Saskatchewan after 4 ends. So on to the sixth end, still 3-2 Saskatchewan. Randy Wojtowicz wants to put his rock behind the Alberta stone in the 8-foot, but his rock came up short. Kevin Martin has the open draw for 4, and he makes it as his stone holds the 12-foot. Alberta takes 4 and the lead 6-3 after 6 ends. And in the seventh end, more trouble for Saskatchewan. Alberta sitting 2, Randy Wojtowicz with the hammer. He has the easy takeout for 1, but he misses coming up short again. Alberta steals 2 and leads 8-3. Saskatchewan gets 1 back, but that's as close as they would come as Kevin Martin throws his last rock. And Wojtowicz concedes. Alberta wins the 1991 Labatt Brier. They'll represent Canada at the Worlds in Winnipeg later on this month. Now on to baseball, and the Expos hoping to see their bats come alive in West Palm this afternoon. They were held at just 1 hit in a 4-0 shutout at the hands of the Braves yesterday, and today it was the Braves again. We'll take you now to the top of the game. Montreal scored a run in the first, then in the second, Otis Nixon pulls one to left field corner. Junior Noboa and Brian Barnes score. Nixon's double puts Montreal all up 3-0. Barnes had a solid outing on the mound, going 3 innings and allowing just 2 hits and mixing up some good change-ups. In the bottom of the third, we've got runners on the corners for Montreal. Noboa lines a single to right. This allows Tim Wallach to score, and it is 4-0. Next inning, Andres Galarraga at the plate. He drives one deep right center and over the fence, a solo shot. 5-0 Montreal. They go on to beat the Atlanta Braves by a score of 6-2. And we've got one other game for you. Philadelphia beat Toronto by a score of 9-5. The Jays committed 5 errors in this one. We'll be back with a full recap of the day's events at 11 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to the Ottawa Civic Centre, where the Sudbury Wolves lead the 67s 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Elsewhere in the OHL this afternoon, Owen Sound in London played to a 4-4 tie. Meantime, Cornwall defeated Kingston 7-3. John Slaney, the hero of Canada's gold medal win in Saskatoon, had 3 goals for the Royals. Peterborough and Oshawa are just starting the third period. The Generals lead that game 3-2. Peterborough, of course, and Sudbury going right down to the wire to see who will play Oshawa in the first round of the playoffs. Sault Ste. Marie leads Kitchener by a score of 2-1. They're playing in the second period. Sault Ste. Marie still has an outside shot at first place Niagara Falls in the Ems division. In the Western Hockey League this afternoon, it was Saskatoon over Moose Jaw 6-5. And a surprise in the Quebec League this afternoon, a meeting of 2 of the powerhouses in that league. Hull all over Trois-Rivières by a final score of 10-2. That may be a preview of the Quebec League final. When we come back, we'll talk to Earl Montagano, the president of the Ottawa 67s. Our intermission continues in just a moment here on CHL Sunday Nights.
Only Sony brings you CD players so advanced they'll even play discs damaged by dust, static, scratches, or rover. Sony CD players for sound you can sink your teeth into.
I've been into cars since my first 57 Chevy. But knowing your way around under here these days takes more smarts and a lot more training. And because cars keep getting more complicated, well, that training never stops. That's what this is all about, the Midas Certified Excellence Training Program. It means I invest the classroom time and Midas invests the money to help me stay on top of what's going on under your car and under your next car. Nobody tops the Top Guns. Nobody.
Wake up, hey Canada, wake up. Today is on McCain Day.
What's the secret of McCain's richer tasting juice? More oranges. McCain concentrates the juice of more oranges into every can. More than Minute Maid, more than Old South. So you have a special reason to buy McCain.
You bet I do.
It's like an extra squeeze of juice in every glass. So compared to Minute Maid and Old South, you have an extra reason to drink McCain.
You bet I do.
Wake up to McCain.
Fact is, we're number one. Why not call us first?
Catch the fire on Molson's, the NHL tonight. The Penguins are closing in on capturing the Patriots. Will their scoring power be enough to stop the Canadiens? The action is live from Civic Arena Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern. It's the NHL tonight on TSN.
The Oshawa Generals once again lead the way in our tip-top top 10, followed by Lethbridge, Kamloops, Trois-Rivières, and North Bay. Rounding out the top 10, the Spokane Chiefs, followed by Sault Ste. Marie, Chicoutimi, Prince Albert, and Longueuil. Well, in about a year's time, the Ottawa 67s will be sharing this rink with the Ottawa Senators. And joining me now to talk about the future of junior hockey in this city is the president of the 67s, Earl Montagano. Earl, the question is, the rink's big enough. Is the city big enough for two?
Well, that certainly is a good question, Gord. And we definitely know there will be an impact when the Senators start their season here. But we've got confidence that we've been in business 23 years, that we can compete on our level.
What can you do that other people haven't done? Because in a lot of other cities, the arrival of the NHL team has spelled doom for the junior team.
Well, that is a fact, and that is history. But we feel that we've got to do better marketing, better administration of the whole thing. We've got an improvement in the league from those years. I think junior hockey has been accepted a lot more and a lot better. I mean, we got to give credit to people like TSN that are following our games. So there is an importance to junior hockey in Canada and the people that we are putting into the National Hockey.
What about logistically? The fact is you're going to be sharing this rink, and it means for a busy season.
That's very true, but we feel the building is 9,300 seats, that there are so many people can go to hockey games. There's got to be the hardcore junior fans still left in this city, and it's going to be tough because it could be 4 or 5 nights of hockey in any given week through the season.
Finally, Earl, any plans for cooperation between the Senators and the 67s?
Well, there has been talk about that, and I'm sure when we get down to it, there will be. The Senators, of course, have got their plate full right now with a lot of things, but I'm sure with Jim Durrell there that we're certainly going to have cooperation.
Earl Montagano, thanks very much, and good luck down the road.
Thank you.
Earl Montagano, the president of the Ottawa 67s. Well, Bob McKenzie has thoughts on the future of junior hockey here in Ottawa, and he checks now with Paul Romanuk in Bob's notebook.
And obviously on page 1 of the notebook, the future of junior hockey here in Ottawa. Can this city support, 1, an NHL team, and 2, a junior and an NHL team?
I think it can, Paul, but I think it's going to be very difficult. And I think Earl touched on something that's very important, and that is cooperation between the Senators and the 67s. It is in the best interest of the Ottawa Senators to make sure that junior hockey survives here. From a marketing point of view, the NHL team doesn't want to see an entire level of hockey killed in the Ottawa area. We talk about the 67s and the Hall Olympics across the river. Now, if friendship counts for anything, the president of the Ottawa Senators, Jim Durrell, is also a very good friend of the owner of the Ottawa 67s, and that is Howard Darwin. Now, they've worked on a lot of projects together, including bringing AAA baseball to the nation's capital. It's not going to be an emotional thing where Durrell's going to do something out of the goodness of his heart, but I really believe that right now, once the Senators get over the hump of having to pay a $50 million admission fee to the NHL, I think they're going to spend some time finding out ways to support junior hockey and make sure it stays in Ottawa.
It would seem like an obvious thing to me to bring a guy like Brian Kilray, who was really Mr. Hockey in this city to a large extent, has been for years, bring him aboard and get him involved with the Senators.
Well, it would have to be in some sort of capacity where he could still maintain what he's doing for the Ottawa 67s. Obviously, he's an integral part of this franchise. As you mentioned earlier in the game, he went away to the New York Islanders for a couple of years. The franchise really suffered badly in his absence. He is the Ottawa 67s for all intents and purposes, but you're right. You want to get all the main players in this from the Senators and the 67s on side for something for the good of junior hockey.
Although with the problems the Senators are having getting things together, at least if you go by the accounts in some of the local papers in Ottawa, that is certainly not a done deal just yet. We are done as far as Bob's notebook is concerned for this week.
All right, thanks very much, gentlemen. Compromise is nothing new in this city, and perhaps these guys can give the 67s and the Senators a few hints on how to get it done. We'll be back with more of our second intermission on CHL Sunday night in just a moment.
People who think all motor oils are the same should have their heads examined. Just look at his head. See the sludge that can build up? The scoring on this piston. And this metal wearing away because someone didn't give their oil a second thought. Well, think about it. And switch to premium Valvoline all climate. Beats every car manufacturer's warranty specs. There's nothing rated higher than Valvoline. Nothing.
Cause the king bee gets the honey.
It's banking, and then there's Scotia Banking. We shop in the same stores you do. We know what a dollar buys and how hard it can be to make ends meet. We've got families to raise and taxes to pay, and we worry about nursing the car through another winter just like you. So when we talk to you about Scotia Bank services, we're not trying to sell you something you don't need. We're trying to help. Scotia Banking means believing in people and proving it every day.
Sudbury scores the only goal of the second period and leads Ottawa 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. A great Sudbury chance is our Longines Wittenauer play of the period. Peter McGlynn well out of the Ottawa net. The puck goes to Adam Bennett looking for his second goal of the hockey game. But Wade Gibson, number 5 for Ottawa, is there to kick it just wide and keep the 67s in this hockey game. The play of the period is brought to you by Longines Wittenauer, superb jewelry that tells time. Back in a moment to the Ottawa Civic Centre.
Experts on quality service.
Service? It means earning trust from my customers.
Realizing that time is important, getting the car back when we promised.
Really listening to what the customer wants.
We go on training courses all the time to keep up to date. Doing the job right, every time. That's service.
Nobody knows your GM vehicle better than your GM team. GM Parts and Service, the expert choice.
The Canadian Hockey League interrupts your winter with a little color. Hey, that's not color. We now return you to your regularly scheduled winner. The Canadian Hockey League. Catch the stars of tomorrow. Today.
Sudbury Wolves lead the Ottawa 67s 2-1 after 2 periods of play in Ottawa. CHL Sunday night on TSN is brought to you by Molson Canadian, what beer's all about. And in part by Shell, makers of the performance gasoline Formula Shell. The only goal of the second period was a big one for Adam Bennett. He told us in our first intermission that he really wanted to get his 20th of the year, and here's how it happened. J.B. Matthews, number 9, sets up Bennett in the slot. He snaps it home early in the second period. His 20th of the year has given the Sudbury Wolves a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes, although Ottawa has still outshot the Wolves after 40 minutes of play. Shapes up as a great third period, and to describe the action, let's go to Paul Romanek and Bob McKenzie.
Thanks, Gordon. The Sudbury Wolves heading out onto the ice and looking to put an end to a 9-game winning streak the Ottawa 67s have on the go. Here at home, they've won the last 6 games. The last time the Ottawa 67s lost was February the 17th against North Bay. The last time they lost at home was in front of a sellout crowd on February the 8th against the Oshawa Generals.
Well, Paul, what the Ottawa 67s want to do in this period is start capitalizing on their opportunities. They've had lots of good chances. Peter McGlynn's played a great game for them at their end. At the other end, John Tanner has also played very well, but at times he's been shaky coming out of his net. And I think what they want to do to Tanner is try to get on him, stand on his doorstep, and try and frustrate him a little bit.
And at some point, if we get a look at the back of Peter McGlynn's mask, the little plate on the back, he has a tribute on there to his teammate Grant Marshall, who of course is the young man we saw earlier in this game, recovering from a broken neck. And there it is right there. That is Grant, and Grant Marshall's number 8. Third period action underway. The teams start off at even strength and uneven on the scoreboard, 2-1 favoring the Sudbury Wolves.
Well, the Wolves, for their part, want to obviously maintain the lead. A very good offensive team. We'll see what kind of defense they can play in this period. They don't want to sit on a 1-goal lead, but at the same time, they want to be a little careful and try to cut down the number of chances the 67s have. They've been bouncing all around John Tanner all night long.
This is the last road game of the year for the Sudbury Wolves. They've lost their last 3 games on the road. Overall, they're 10-20-2 away from home. Ambrosiak, number 12, up there for Ottawa forechecking. Here's Murray. And just bounces it all the way up to center. Chris Snell knocks it down, waits for his mates to get on side. Snell rolls it in, and Ambrosiak, number 12, will charge back into the corner. Couldn't get to it. Seguin. Back to Snell. He had to lunge and couldn't keep it in. Jerry Skripek off the boards. Bartley. Here's Seguin stealing for Ottawa. Snell moves up after it. Tried to lift it back to Seguin, who was going for the net. Couldn't get it to him. Ambrosiak at the line. Couldn't keep it in for Ottawa. Here's Ambrosiak at center. Ryan Kuwabara shoots. That is handled by Tanner. He'll drop it off in back of his own net. Terry Chitteroni up around the boards for Glenn Murray. Went off the skate of Simon down into the corner. Simon will roll in there. And he let up just a little bit before he stepped into Bartley. Bartley didn't have the puck anymore. When Simon hits you, you would know it. He is huge, 232 pounds.
Well, Brian Kilray in the background there was very excited about being on national television tonight because he knows that his pal Don Cherry back in Mississauga, Ontario is going to be watching. He had a message for Graves.
Yeah, Don, I couldn't get a new suit in time, so I just wearing one that washed up well.
Still looks nicer than most of your suits.
Yes, well, this is true. Since you've become the Blackwell worst dress critic this season. Not as quite flamboyant a dresser as Grapes, I don't think. He and Larry Mavity have the jacket sharing arrangement of the Ontario Hockey League. Grapes would be horrified to hear that. They share sports coats.
Simon up there to forecheck, comes up with it, wheels and scores! Chris Simon does it by himself, and it's tied up.
Well, Chris Simon, the big wraparound from behind the net. Watch John Tanner. Looks as though a lapse in concentration. He didn't really look back over his shoulder the full time. Simon does a good job of hustling past Adam Bennett, hustling past Sean Rivers, and they're not guarding the post very well, John Tanner. But good hustle by Simon. He blows by 2 Sudbury defenders, Bennett and Rivers. There's no way that should happen. And with one hand on the stick, wheels around and puts it past Tanner. Good effort by Simon, the big 232-pound winger drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers in the 2nd round last summer.
1:39 the time of the goal for Simon. And Allen and Riccardi pick up the assists. And in comes Draper right off the face-off. Simon up there looking for the game. Draper plays it off of the referee, Dave Lynch. Here comes Stoss. John Stoss ahead to Chitteroni. Shoots. McGlynn the stop. Rebound in front of the net. And it's knocked away. Stoss centers it across in front for Kovacs. He is belted before he can make contact. Here's Adam Bennett shooting. That's just wide. Up off the board, Chitteroni lunging after it. Couldn't keep it in. And the 67s just want a breather, and they will get it with the icing call. 17:40 to play in the third period. A 2-2 hockey game.
Well, after the tying goal, Peter McGlynn kept very busy. Terry Chitteroni, who came back from that second period injury, had a great opportunity here right in front of the net. The puck laid over to him. A nice backhand. McGlynn kicked out the rebound. And then the 67s, Chris Simon clears it. Here's another opportunity right in front. Sean Rivers moved up, or rather Bill Kovacs moved up on the play, taken out effectively by the 67s defense. But Terry Chitteroni, a guy who's rated to go in the NHL Central Scouting second round. A lot of guys think he'll go in the first round.
Right off the face-off, cutting right in front, scores! Brandon Convery.
Well, Convery just took this one right from the face-off, broke up through. Not unlike the other goal the Ottawa 67 scored in that he was completely unmolested. Right down the middle, nobody took the man. Good patience by Convery. McGlynn stretched it out as far as he could, but there should have been an Ottawa defender taken. You can't allow a guy to come up the middle on a face-off like that. The defenseman's got to stay back. In that case, Convery went down, and the big backhand right along the ice past McGlynn.
An unassisted goal at 2:24. And that comes less than a minute after the Ottawa 67s had tied it up.
This kid's got a lot of potential, Paul. A third-round pick in the midget draft last year. He's likely to be a first-round pick in the NHL next year.
And here comes Convery again. And off the board, Snell back to play it. Pulled down by Convery, no penalty in the play. Here comes DeFazio, in over the blue line. Leads into it, big rebound in front, and on the flyby, Matt Stone couldn't put it away. The net comes off the pegs, and that'll get things stopped. 17:12 to go in the third period. 3-2 is the score for Sudbury. Just a reminder to stay tuned to the end of the game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by National Trust. 3-2, Sudbury on top. Lots of time still to go in the third period. Look at the captain of the Sudbury Wolves, Wade Bartley. Played a couple of years at the University of North Dakota before coming up to play for the Sudbury Wolves. Was never drafted into the Ontario Hockey League. He was an invite to the Wolves training camp in 1989. Right in front, just tapped wide of the net by Ryan Kuwabara. Kuwabara gets it loose. Seguin back of the net. Matthews trying to wrap him up. Kuwabara picks it up. He's got Riccardi in front. Can't get it to him. O'Donnell. Back out for Sudbury. He is flipped down by Peter Ambrosiak. Adam Bennett back to pick it up. Just bumped in by Matthews. He is in turn bumped back in the center ice area. Scott Thiesby gets it up the middle. That's broken up. Chitteroni straddling the blue line, and offside called in the Wolves.
Game tonight, and coupled with a Peterborough loss in Oshawa, would put him in a tie for 5th place. Ken McKenzie doesn't mind playing the Oshawa Generals in the first round of the playoffs, but just from a strictly logistical point of view, it makes a lot more sense to pay the North Bay Centennials just down the road from Sudbury, and the record against North Bay is superior to that of against the Oshawa Generals.
They were 6-3 against North Bay this year, 3-4-1 against Oshawa. Kovacs, number 14, in back of the net for the Wolves, couldn't come up with it. Stoss after it. Along the boards, John Stoss looks around. Skripek was in his back pocket. Draper comes back in now. To Simon, shoots! And that was right at the Wolf. On the jersey of John Tanner, a bullseye, and Tanner in front of it, and he hangs on amidst the traffic.
Colin Miller and Jarrett Reed have each scored twice. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are pulling away from Kitchener. The score is 7-2 after 2 periods of play.
Well, Brian Kilrea's trying to get Kris Draper to make his move a lot earlier in terms of passing off to his wingers, and he does a great job there of drawing the defenseman over, putting it out to Simon, a pure goal scorer who gets the shot and Tanner makes the save. But part of the problem offensively with Kris Draper, from Brian Kilrea's perspective, is that he's hanging onto the puck too long, going directly to the net and trying to make that last pass when he's right on the doorstep. He wants to start getting him making more plays just inside the blue line and give his shooters a better chance to do their job.
Snell with the shot. He unloaded just wide. And the play worked perfectly right off the faceoff. They fed Snell. Puck up over into the Sudbury bench and we get the stoppage. And Snell just let a cannon go that was just wide.
The World Curling Championships begin March 23rd in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Canada will be represented by Kevin Martin Drink from Edmonton. And it all gets underway here on TSN on the 23rd of March.
Lots of curling. 'Tis the season. Hockey playoffs on the horizon. Great time of year for a sports fan. Baseball just starting. 15:45 to play, third period. Ottawa trailing Sudbury by a goal. Ottawa with a 9-game winning streak. Chris Snell battling his way in. Loose at the side of the net. Draper trying to get it out in front. He'll pick it up now. Tried to get it out in front to Snell. Led him a little bit too much with the pass. Sean Rivers now. Scored 1 goal going end-to-end earlier in this game. He's hit center. Here comes Rivers. And not this time he won't. Puck up over the glass and we get a stoppage with 15:19 to go. It's close.
73 and the 67s. Thank you. The stop.
Well, pretty good shiner on Sean Rivers, picked up in Friday night's game. He was checking Eric Lindros, and the version, according to Sam McMaster, which we'll have to go on at this point, is that Lindros butt-ended Rivers in the eye. I'm sure the Oshawa Generals might see it differently, but that's one side of the story.
Well, Sean Rivers saw it, whatever it was, a little bit more closely than he would have liked. Offside, calling the Ottawa 67s. Eric Lindros definitely has a nasty streak, and that is what makes him such a great pro prospect.
Talk about pro prospects. Draper's a pretty good one, too. Started the year with the Winnipeg Jets, ran into injury problems. And the Ottawa 67s acquired his rights from the Dukes of Hamilton. They traded a couple of young players, goaltender George Durian and a center Garen Smith, plus a draft pick to get him. And for a while, they were very worried that they weren't going to get him back. Since he's come back, he's really helped the 67s develop a well-rounded team.
Puck knocked loose up there by Jerrett DeFazio, who was trying to work it in front. It just hops past Len DeVono, and he'll have to head back. Here's Wade Gibson. Back there with DeVono. Barry Young for the Sudbury Wolves. Here's DeVono. Almost gets caught, knocked away from him. Pekka goes after it, tries to get it out in front, knocked loose. And Spry will clear it back up. Matt Stone up after it. Here's Barry Young. 67's on the change. Lots of time for the Wolves to move it up. Now they'll make a change. Puck just dumped in. Wade Gibson, number 5, back to claim it for Ottawa. All the way up to center for Brett Seguin. A couple of the big guns out there now for Ottawa. Seguin, one of them, doesn't have the puck right now, though. It is Bob Berg, number 18 for the Wolves, working it loose around the board. Ryan Kuwabara knocks it down. Riccardi couldn't get it in. Murray comes back, up ahead. Berg clearing it down in for the Wolves. Murray leaping up there to forecheck, bounces past him, and Berg just overskated it. Back out now comes Ambrosiak, number 12, hits the line. He's got Kuwabara trailing. Ambrosiak looking, centers it right in front. Tanner the stop. A whack at it by Kuwabara, and everybody crowds in, but John Tanner holds his ground.
A heads-up play by Ambrosiak, who came around from behind and fired it out to Sagan, who was rushing in from the point. Going wide on Sean O'Donnell, comes back around, but watch the heads-up play to get it out to Sagan, who rushes in, and a good heads-up play by Tanner as well, who was aware that Sagan was coming in. We talked about Sagan at the top, and I said to really watch for him. He, in all sincerity, has not had a great night.
And Ryan Kuwabara was also right in front of the net, as he has been a couple of times tonight, battling away. He got a whack at it. And Tanner with the goal line stand, managing to hang on. Here comes Chitteroni. 2-on-1 with Kovacs. Chitteroni shoots. McGlynn way out of his net to cut down the angle. Chitteroni just had nowhere to go but through him, and that wasn't working. Here's Kovacs. Up ahead for Stoss. Knocked away from him. Here's Ambrosiak. Sagan into the corner. He'll get it to him. Sagan tried to chip it in front of the net. Kuwabara up after it. He tried to center it, but it's broken up. Sean O'Donnell manages to work and get it out. Here comes Stoss. John Stoss up there with Chitteroni. Back for Chitteroni. Kovacs up there as well. The pass behind him. He'll give chase into the corner. Rivers unloads. Chitteroni looking for it. Tap past him and past the defenseman Adam Bennett. 12 minutes and 29 seconds to play, third period. 3-2, Sudbury leading the Ottawa 67s. Stepping in and teeing up, Allen with a shot, and Tanner will hang on.
Jamie Allen might have considered passing on that one, but at the same time, they've been shooting the puck at Tanner lately. They've been getting some good rebounds out. In that case, he snaked the big glove out and held on to it. It was effectively 3-on-2. Might have hung up, but he was deep in the slot. Good opportunity for a shot. And Tanner has looked shaky on a couple of long shots tonight, allowing rebounds to come out. Allen with the tinted visor, the only player on the ice with one. Tinted, that is.
It's a fashion statement, or does it make the picture a little sharper? I was asking a couple of players about those. One guy said it looks better, and the other guy said it makes things look sharper. So you tell me. Maybe it'll go the way of the neon skate lace. Big shot from Skripek back there. Tanner out to cut down the angle. Simon trying to get it loose. Back to Skripek at the point. Alistair still challenging him. Allen works it in for Draper. He was tied up. Bennett had a lock on him. Allen slamming into his man. He has thrown a couple of hellacious body checks in this game. That was another one there. In over the line for the Wolves. Convery. He's tied up, and that rush comes to an end. 67s come back. Here comes Simon, rolling in. Tried to get it in front of the net, and the puck tapped up and out of play.
Well, Chris Simon's had a heck of a game, scoring a goal on the wraparound, being very physical, being basically in the Sudbury Wolves' face all night. Simon says ideally he'd like to play at 225 pounds. He'd like to drop another 7. His timing is nowhere near what it should be. His conditioning is nowhere near what it should be. Yet he still can be an impact player at junior hockey, even with those shortcomings because of the shoulder surgery he's had this year.
Impact is a good word to use when you're talking about somebody 6'3", 232 pounds.
Native of Wawa, Ontario. Played his minor hockey in Sault Ste. Marie. He's a native Canadian and says very proud of it.
Puck gloved down by Barry Young. That gets some yelling from the fans who've been all over referee Dave Lynch. McGlynn with the stop. Here's Riccardi. Barry Young picks it up. Beesby is rolling it down in there for Ottawa. Stone up to forecheck. Gets it loose. Spry gets it in front. Tanner the stop. And back comes Matthews on the move. Murray going for the net. Matthews can't get there. And back behind the play, Tanner was hurting as he got up from the ice. He'll have to make the stop now, and he does, just reaching out and pulling in that wrist shot from Brad Spry, and here we go.
I think in the middle of all that, we're going to find Matt Stone, number 24, who came in. Tanner, a good job of concentration. Made the save, and Stone was right into Tanner's face. Sudbury defenseman has Stone down on the ice. I believe it's Bartley. And Tanner made 2 good saves, very good concentration, because in both instances, somebody from the 67s was right in his face.
Well, Tanner was in a lot of pain walking back onto the ice to start this period. And then again, during that last series of play, while the action was down in the Ottawa zone, he was down on his knees, and it looked as though he was hurting to get up. Matter of fact, he just got up before the 67s got it in over the blue line, and Brad Spry challenged him with that shot to the corner. He had just gotten up about now, just as the 67s are coming down.
Nice pass from Stone, putting it into the middle. And there's the shot. Really got the glove out quickly. And then here comes Stone, giving him the shot in the head. And again, he likes to embellish it a little bit. There was no question Stone was in his face. He got the theatrics going a little bit there. And I guess the biggest question I would have is, he's in so much pain as he certainly seems to be, grimacing coming onto the ice and making it very difficult getting up, is why is he in the game? Certainly Sudbury wants to finish in 5th place, but it's not a life and death struggle. And with the playoffs around the corner and him considered the #1 goaltender, you would think he'd go out to the bench and take the night off if necessary.
Our coverage of the CHL doesn't end with the regular season. We'll have playoff coverage for you April 14th and 21st, along with May the 5th. Teams, of course, to be determined, and it all leads to Quebec City, the 1991 Memorial Cup. Our coverage begins May 11th and wraps up with the tournament final on May 18th, right here on TSN.
And the way the Hull Olympics are playing right now in the Quebec League, could be one of the 2 Quebec teams we'll see in that Memorial Cup.
Well, lots of NHL scouts here tonight to see this game between the Sudbury Wolves and the Ottawa 67. They were over this afternoon at Robert Gritan Arena in Hull to see Hull knock off the Trois-Rivières Reverse 13-2. Lots of goals and apparently lots of nonsense too. The game took over 3 hours to play this afternoon.
So the bottom line of all of this, a double minor going to Matt Stone of the Ottawa 67s, and just 2 minutes going to Wade Bartley of the Sudbury Wolves. So the Wolves will have themselves a power play with 10:51 to play in the 3rd period. A 3-2 hockey game, Sudbury leading. Sean Rivers, Adam Bennett, and the go-ahead goal scored by Brandon Convery. Ryan Kuwabara and Chris Simon have scored for Ottawa. And that power play goal the Wolves scored was back early in the 2nd period. Adam Bennett got it during a 2-man advantage. Finally scored his 20th of the year, something he had been bemoaning before the game, the fact that he'd had such hard luck getting number 20.
Well, Brian Kilray would like to get win number 10 in a row here. Put the heat on the Belleville Bulls and try to snag 3rd place overall in this Leighton division and get home ice advantage. For the first round of the playoffs, they'll be playing the Bulls, who now have Scott Thornton back from the Toronto Maple Leafs in the lineup. A big addition to their roster.
Although Thornton was in here with the Bulls on Friday night to play the Ottawa 67s, and they were smashed by the Ottawa 67s. Ottawa scored 6 goals in the 3rd period on the way to a 10-2 win. Big chance here, Riccardi rifling one. And he bangs his stick on the ice in frustration. He's shaking his head after that shot. He had a great opportunity to wire it.
Well, Riccardi's a hard rock defenseman from Thunder Bay, and here he just rears back and fires it. Tanner follows it, but this one is going, gone right from the time he took the shot. Maybe it bounced up. Riccardi's been a key guy, the captain of these 67s. 67s ran into serious injury problems, long-term injury problems to some key defensemen at the beginning of the year. Yanni Lado out for the year with a knee injury. Grant Marshall with his broken neck. And they've really had to pick up the slack, and Riccardi's a guy who's really being counted on by Coach Brian Kilray.
Marshall was actually Riccardi's defensive partner earlier in the season before he broke his neck. Puck tapped up over the glass and out of play. That'll get another stoppage with 10:18 to go. Yanni Lado, by the way, defenseman with the Ottawa 67s, who has just a tremendous shot. We saw him on CHL Sunday night last season. Is skating once again. I've seen him skate a couple of times in the last week or so. He's getting the mobility back. He's not that stiff anymore, and he's looking forward to playing in the NHL next season, he hopes, with Chicago. The go-ahead goal for the Wolves coming at 2:24 of this 3rd period. Less than a minute after Ottawa had tied it up on a goal by Chris Simon. Riccardi bouncing it in. Tanner will handle it. Here's Adam Bennett. Back out for the Wolves. drops it off. Bennett charging for the net. The pass coming across, but it's broken up. Draper lifting it out at center. Here comes Simon. One-on-one. Draper up to join the rush. He'll pick it up now. Riccardi's up there too. Draper in behind Simon. After it in the corner now to Riccardi. Just wide. Riccardi still after it. Knocked away. 4-on-4. And in 45 seconds, it will turn into a power play for the Sudbury Wolves. Here's Adam Bennett. Up ahead to Chitteroni. Chitteroni by himself as the Wolves are making changes, and here come the reinforcements. Not too late. Sauce along the boards. Takes a look. In front for Chitteroni, but he was tied up. O'Donnell able to keep it in back at the line. McGlynn will just drop it off there for Feasby. Stoss all over him, will ride him in towards the boards. Trying to chop it loose. Feasby trying to leg it out and get away. And he leaves it behind as Stoss caught a piece of the net. Barry Young, number 3, back to pick it up for the Wolves. Sudbury going on the power play in 10 seconds. Here's Stoss. Chitteroni lost it. Here comes Seguin. Shooting. The rebound, he couldn't knock it home. Seguin once again trying to get in front. He's pulled down, and a penalty coming up against the Wolves. 10 seconds into their power play, and Adam Bennett looking heavenward, looking for an answer as to why he got called.
In the game of hockey, as in life, success comes when solid offense is balanced by superior defense. That's why Transamerica Life offers Canadians a solid lineup of investment products, balanced by innovative, affordable life insurance. For over 60 years, Canadians have counted on Transamerica Life for balance. Call your Transamerica representative for all the financial security you need. Transamerica Life sponsors the major Junior A Hockey Plus-Minus Awards.
Well, Adam Bennett off for hooking. But Brett Seguin had the good opportunity here. He came down, just fired the low shot. Hanner stuck the pad out. The rebound comes back out. You'll see Seguin coming out from the corner. And there you see Adam Bennett put a very slight hook.
I don't know.
And I don't think there's any question there that Brett Seguin embellished that one. And we've got some pretty good performances going on tonight.
Although the Ottawa power play not performing very well. 0 for 3. Teams are at even strength right now. Here comes Murray. Drops it off. Convery, who has the go-ahead goal at this point for Sudbury. Has it now. Convery along the boards, being watched by Seguin. Up to Murray, back for Convery. Murray lunging up after it, couldn't get there. And Convery pulling down Peter Ambrosiak. That's an offside that's been called and not a penalty. And then Convery gets jabbed by Ambrosiak as he cruises by.
Now Lenny DeVono's in there mixing it up along with Ambrosiak, who's not too happy.
It's funny that the penalty that was called a few moments earlier on Adam Bennett, and then on what maybe was a trip, there was not even the intent to make a call. And now all this is festered up out of that.
DeVono from Sault Ste. Marie, who's actually suspended, more or less kicked off the team by Ottawa coach Brian Kilray this year for a curfew violation. Something of a free spirit. He's had some discipline problems with various teams in the OHL. When Brian Kilray ran into defensive problems, though, with guys down and being injured, he went back to DeVono and said, listen, you can tell me to get lost if you like, but I need you back on this hockey team, but you've just got to get your act together and be disciplined. DeVono has done that. He's really helped out. Will often play the point on the power play and be a pretty effective guy for Brian Kilray.
And the chant is, we want a ref.
Well, they've got one. They just don't particularly like the choice.
I don't know whether they mean that they want a referee or they would in fact like to go out and referee. Some interesting implications there. Alistair Still can't keep it in. Here's Young. Draper up, takes the pass over 2 lines, and offside is called in the 67s. 7:45 to play in the third period. 3-2, Sudbury leading. The Ottawa 67s perhaps seeing the end of a 9-game winning streak.
Well, Paul, there's been no question tonight that if the Ottawa 67s are going to generate offense on a consistent basis, the line that is going to do it is Kris Draper.
Chris Simon has one of their goals. Kris Draper has an assist. Riccardi clearing it down in for Ottawa. Score! Ryan Kuwabara on the gift.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens second rounder picks up his second goal of the night. He'll take this one. John Tanner comes out, a bad bounce off the boards. And we talked about Tanner's wandering tendencies. I don't know. Oh, I'm not quite sure if Tanner was at fault there or whether they just got the bad bounce off the boards. I didn't catch whether Tanner had it on a stick or not. The net result is the puck is in the net by Ryan Kuwabara. 5 goals at Christmas, 33 now. He's been on fire since signing a contract with the Canadiens early in the new year.
Riccardi and Feasby pick up the assists. This is Kuwabara's 5th multiple goal game of the year, his 2nd goal tonight, 33rd of the season. And Ottawa is 3rd of the game. We're tied up at 3 with 7:20 to go. And here comes Brendan Convery. Back down for the Wolves. He is belted at the line. Scott Feasby stepping into him. Feasby up ahead to Kuwabara. Tanner plays it up around the boards. Here's Snell. Leaves it there for Simon. DeVono. Draper moving up to forecheck. And now an Ottawa power play for the next 10 seconds. Time for one rush if they move it. Simon up ahead to Snell. Shoots. That goes off the skate of Young. Penalized player back on. Teams are at even strength. They are even on the scoreboard with 6:35 to go. Here's Murray in deep. Looks around. He's got Matthews in front. Couldn't get it to him though. Seguin starts back out for Ottawa. Here comes Simon. Drops it back. Simon in front of the net. Here comes Bird. Shoots. McGlynn clinched and got a piece of it. Matthews after it along the boards. Bird goes after it again. Wolves making some changes. Bartley steps in. Bartley shooting. And McGlynn hangs on.
Well, a great burst of speed by Wade Bartley. Held up at the blue line waiting for his teammates to get onside. The Ottawa defense tended to relax a little bit as though Bartley couldn't come into the end. You'll see number 18 try to clear the zone, and here comes Bartley, darts in. And Ottawa caught flat-footed on that one. Bartley took advantage of it. The Washington Capitals second rounder comes in, makes a good play to get a shot away on McGlynn. Just watch the burst of speed as he goes between DeVono and the other defenseman. But McGlynn, a sprawling save. Good effort by Bartley. Bartley an overage in the Ontario League. There was some speculation he would start the year in Baltimore, Washington's farm team. But they're loaded with rookie defensemen there, and I think almost as a favorite of the Sudbury Wolves. And certainly Sam McMaster, the general manager, who used to scout for the Capitals, they sent him back.
Here's Bennett. Nothing much on that shot. Feasby with it now. Tied up by Kovacs. 5:46 to go. Another face-off. Down out to the right of Peter McGlynn.
Well, with 5:46, Paul, the goaltenders face a lot of pressure. And right now, McGlynn and Tanner have both had good games. There's been a couple of lapses for Tanner. That puck coming off the boards in a weird fashion to allow Kuwabara to tie this game up.
Riccardi's got some room, and he will utilize it all the way to center. Jeff Riccardi dumps it in. Draper picks it up. Tried to cut in and had the puck pulled away by O'Donnell. Wolves come back. Kovacs to Chitteroni. Up there with Stock, but that's broken up by Riccardi. Here comes Kuwabara. In with Ambrosiak. And that is tipped by Adam Bennett up and out of play.
Well, Brian Kilray at the best of times runs with a short bench. He likes to get his 3 lines going. Doesn't often go to a 4th line except in unusual circumstances. Right now, he's almost running 2 lines. The other side, Ken McKenzie traditionally goes with 4 lines to wear the other team down. Certainly in a game against Ottawa, we'll try to go with 4 lines. But in this situation, he shortened his bench a little bit too, going primarily with 3. Young man we haven't seen much of tonight is number 21 of the Wolves, Michael Pekka, coming into our picture right there. Don't know whether he's injured or just not playing. Their 1st-round pick. Pretty talented offensive player, not seeing a lot of ice time tonight.
Here's Snell. Shoots, scores! Jerrett DeFazio puts Ottawa on top with 5:15 to go.
A very smart play by defenseman Chris Snell from the point. He gets the puck at the top of your screen and lays a beautiful pass. Make no mistake, that was not a shot, that was a pass. And Jerrett DeFazio, a veteran of the Ontario Hockey League, knows how to do one thing and one thing very well, and that is score goals. A beautiful tip in, anticipated well by Tanner, but the puck just slipped in underneath, and DeFazio does an imitation of Mike Foligno.
Snell and Snow pick up the assists. And the 67s are up by a score of 4-3, looking to extend their winning streak to 10 games. And it would run to 7 games here on home ice. Still 4:55 to go. Look at Snell under pressure, tries to dump it away. Strypek up off the boards and out. Young back to pick it up. It's been a tough weekend for the Sudbury Wolves. They were at home Friday night against Oshawa. Played yesterday afternoon in Peterborough and then in here to Ottawa to wrap up 3 games in 3 days.
The Molson Cup 3-star selection. The first star of tonight's game will receive a room and travel gift. We thank
And it's got to be a grind for Ken McKenzie and company.
Well, Paul, 3 games in 3 days. They beat the Oshawa Generals 4-3 on Friday night, lost 5-1 on Saturday to the Petes in a game that they really dominated offensively but couldn't capitalize on their opportunities.
Andrew Verner played just an outstanding game for the Peterborough Petes in goal. Chitteroni and Seguin facing off, and they joust off the draw. Seguin, weak shot, just kind of pushed it in. Tanner steers it away for Bennett. Chitteroni. Here's Seguin. Takes a look, centers it. Rocket just smoked wide by Kuwabara, looking for the hat trick. He's parked in front now. Kuwabara battling for real estate, knocked down by Bennett, who's all over him. Kuwabara and Bennett still battling down in front of the net. Here's Seguin. Just threw it out through the slot. Here's Riccardi. And that goes down into the corner. Kuwabara up to Voracek. Runs into Bennett. Kovacs. Riccardi fires it back in. 3:50 to go. 4-3. Ottawa leading the Sudbury Wolves. Here's Adam Bennett. Over to Sean Rivers. Back to Bennett. Beesby. Giving a bump. Gets it up around the boards for Kuwabara. Gets it out to center. Kovacs. Trying to poke it in. Stoss up ahead for Kovacs. And he will head to the bench. Sudbury making changes on the fly. That was a long shift for that line. Here's Draper. Up ahead for Simon. Starting back up with Kuwabara. And Kuwabara heading to the bench. Ottawa making changes on the go now. Here's Snell. Trying to get away from Matthews, hurrying it along the boards. In for Allen in the corner. Given a bump by Bartley. Matthews trying to get away. He's tied up by Allen. Loose puck in front. Allen was tied up. Matthews really had a grip on him. O'Donnell back out for the Wolves. Just clears it all the way down. Jerry Scripek, number 2, hustling back there to pick it up for the 67s. And the Wolves trying to get some kind of pressure going. Matthews, great job to keep it in. He had Berg in front, but couldn't get it across to him. Tanner way out of his net, and Draper way up to forecheck. Here's Bartley. 2:20 to go. 4-3 is the score. Ottawa leading Sudbury. Here comes Bartley. Just dumps it in. The Wolves make some changes. 2:05 to play. And icing is waved off. Adam Bennett back to pick it up. Here comes Sean Rivers. Clears it in and follows in. Here's Alistair Still on the board. He's got Convery in front. Couldn't get it to him. Thiesby now. Off the boards with 1:43 to go. 4-3. Ottawa on top of Sudbury. Here's DeFazio. He has what stands as the game-winning goal right now. Puck just cleared in. And the 67 is doing a great job of just plugging up the middle. Here comes Adam Bennett, trying to carry it in, a 1-on-2, and he couldn't beat those odds.
Good defensive play by Ryan Kuwabara to ride Bennett out.
Young at the line. Couldn't quite keep it in. Here comes Seguin, breaking in with Kuwabara. Seguin way in front for Kuwabara, but he was tied up by Still. 1:10 to play, 4-3. Ottawa leading Sudbury. And the Wolves, frustrated, haven't really been able to get much going in terms of getting the puck across center in the last couple of minutes.
Well, the Wolves would really like to get a face-off here, maybe call a timeout, get straightened around and get their best players on the ice and get an opportunity to pull the goaltender.
Tanner looking towards the bench, but he doesn't go yet. Less than a minute to go, 48 seconds left. The Sudbury Wolves trailing 4-3. Stoss can't get it out. Simon up there with the aggressive forechecking. Wins the battle. Here's Simon for Ottawa. Riccardi with a shot. Rebound, score! Chris Simon makes it 5-3.
2 goals for Ryan Kuwabara, 2 goals for Chris Simon. Aggressive play really pays off for the big Wawa native. He does all the work in the corner, gets it back to the point, and then picks up the rebound and drives it by John Tanner, who is way out to cut down the angle. But talk about doing your own work for yourself in the corner. Great work by Simon, and then a great finishing touch.
And Riccardi will pick up an assist. That's a 4-point night for Riccardi. What a game he's had. 30 seconds left. Here's Bartley. Shoots. That's wide. Stops at the side of the net. Couldn't get a grip on it. And back comes Snell with DeFazio. Drops it off. Puck just punched wide by Draper. 5 seconds left. And the Ottawa 67s looking great down the stretch run in the Ontario Hockey League. They have won their 10th game in a row.
Well, Paul, Coach Brian Kilray says he doesn't even remember the last time an Ottawa 67s team had won 9 or 10 games in a row. And now they have.
And a great effort by the 67s. 2 goals from Chris Simon, 2 goals from Ryan Kuwabara, and 4 assists for their captain, Jeff Riccardi. So the Ottawa 67s looking great down the stretch. They won their 10th in a row, their 7th in a row at home, 5-3 over Sudbury.
To survive the long, harsh winter, Canadians wrap themselves in wool.
Watch it now, watch it.
Huddle together.
There it comes, there it comes.
Keep their hands and feet moving.
Watch it now, it gets you.
And at the first sign of fatigue, they seek shelter and rest. Molson Canadian, genuine Canadian beer. What beer's all about. There are two kinds of people in the world. Those who want to know,
Harvey, these light-to-light dinners give us their cholesterol and fat levels.
and those who don't.
Delicious.
To those who want to know,
It's right here on the front,
Light to Light puts it out front.
where we can see them.
For those who don't want to know, Light to Light simply tastes better than ever. McCain Light to Light. The information's on the outside. The taste is on the inside.
Lots of motor oils claim to be tough. Quaker State puts it in writing. Ask your participating service center about Quaker State's tough lubrication guarantee. Only a tough motor oil can make a guarantee this tough. Quaker State is one tough motor oil.
It's out there, the sinus gold. Once it breaks in, you feel like it's locked itself inside your sinuses. You sneeze without loosening it, blow your nose without draining it. You feel pain and pressure in your sinus cavities. So try Dristan tablets. Dristan's special penetrating action reaches all 8 sinus cavities to help clear the misery of your sinus cold. Dristan tablets for the cold misery that's locked in your sinuses.
From Gillette comes Sensor, the only razor that can sense and adjust to the individual needs of your face. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and individually adjust to your face. The closest, safest, most comfortable Gillette Sensor, together with the richness of foamy shave cream for the best shave a man can get.
TSN tips off the week with full court excitement from the NBA. Monday, the Knicks can be the spoilers in the Nets' bid for a playoff spot. Wednesday, top teams clash at the Salt Palace as the Jazz host the Celtics. Start your week with the NBA on TSN.
The Ottawa 67s come from behind to beat the Sudbury Wolves by a final score of 5-3. The turning point in this game comes with just over 7 minutes remaining in the third period. Kind of a strange play. The puck is shot in. John Tanner and Sean Rivers misplay the puck off the boards. Takes a lively bounce in front and goes right to Ryan Kuwabara, who is there for his second goal of the hockey game. That tied it up and got the Ottawa 67s right back in. And a cash donation will be made to minor hockey on behalf of TSN and National Trust, helping you secure your future. Here now are tonight's Molson Cup 3 stars. The 2 goals by Ryan Kuwabara earn him top spot. Second star goes to Sean Rivers. And the third star, also with a pair of goals, Chris Simon. And Simon says that all 3 of tonight's Molson Cup 3 stars will receive a gift pack from Brute by Fabergé. The Ottawa 67s didn't lead this game until late when Jerrett DeFazio scored the go-ahead goal. That turned out to be the winner. Jerrett DeFazio joins us now, and it was a wild one tonight. You guys seem to be coming from behind all night long, but then that goal by Ryan really got you back in it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Sudbury came third game in 3 nights, and they gave it all they could in the first and second, but we knew by the third they'd be really tired, and we jumped on them pretty good in the third period, and with that lucky bounce, we got the goal, and we were pretty excited from there.
It certainly wasn't a lucky goal when you scored here to tie the game up. And let's take a look at the great shot by Snell, and then you come up with a perfect deflection. Tell us about it.
Oh, well, I just put my stick up in the air, and Sneller's so smart with the puck. I knew he was going to feed it to me. I saw Tanner going down, and so there's some room underneath him there. I knew that, so I just slid it in and did a Feligno there in the air, and that's pretty excited.
That's very impressive. That's an NHL caliber celebration.
Yeah, the guys in the team go pretty crazy when I score a goal because I get pretty excited, so you know, I just had to jump around. It's pretty exciting.
Jerry, you're eligible for the NHL draft this year, all 12 rounds, and that's just a couple of months away. How do you approach it?
You know, I'm just concentrating on with the club here. We got a really good chance, you know, with the Memorial Cup and that. If everyone works hard in that and farther we go, you know, it helps everybody on the club. So I'm looking forward to the chances with our team and then with myself in June.
Talk about the postseason now. Your team has a great record against Oshawa, certainly not to look past the Belleville series. But if anybody has a chance to come out of this division by beating Oshawa, it would seem to be you guys. Yeah, we've had their number up there in Oshawa, and we beat them the last time down here. So we're really excited. We can't look past Belleville because they're a really good club, but we know our chances are very strong in this division, and we're looking forward to the playoffs. Sure, thanks very much, and congratulations on a big win tonight. Thanks. Jerrett DeFazio scores the game-winning goal in the Ottawa 67s 5-3 win over the Sudbury Wolves. We'll be right back after this.
Finally, a cordless drill that just won't quit. The Black & Decker Univolt. With more torque than its leading competitor and more than 100 watts out of power. Only one thing stops the Univolt. The industrial strength Black & Decker Univolt. The Industrial Tool Division of Black & Decker presents an industrial strength guarantee. If you're not satisfied with any tool we make, we'll take it back. Guaranteed.
GM's half-ton full-size pickups have lower operating costs than a similarly equipped Ford. So even though they have a more powerful standard engine, they won't break the bank. Even though GM's new full-size pickups have a more powerful standard engine than a similarly equipped Ford, there is one thing they find harder to move.
So what's little dandruff?
Okay, imagine you're at the social event of the year, and your dream girl says hello, just as you do this. Her first impression? What a hunk, and only a few flakes.
Give me a break.
The breaks are, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
So?
Try this.
Head and shoulders? But you don't have dandruff. Your hair looks great.
Bingo.
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
For the fun of it. Contact your minor hockey association.
Ottawa 67s making some noise in the OHL. Their 10th straight win comes after a 5-3 victory over Sudbury. For their thoughts on tonight's game, let's go down to Paul Romanek and Bob McKenzie.
And I think you have to talk about this being a total team effort. It's a bit of a cliche, but it certainly applies in the case of the Ottawa 67s. The guys you expect to score came through, and the guys you don't expect to score an awful lot also came through in a big way.
Well, certainly Chris Simon had two goals from that line. And then Ryan Kuwabara had 2 goals, so 2 goals from that line. And then Jerrett DeFazio, a goal scorer who plays on a third line, is noted primarily for his checking prowess, scores the winning goal. And then you look at Peter McGlynn, and Ned had an outstanding night. And then in the defense, Chris Snell set up the winning goal, Jeff Riccardi 4 assists. This is what Brian Kilray talks about when he says all the little things are falling into place for his hockey team, and that's why they've won 10 games in a row.
Yeah, little things. I mean, there's nothing little about a 10-game winning streak, the longest Brian Kilray can remember in a lot of years. They've won their last 7 here at home, and we talked about it off the top of the show about gearing things towards the playoffs. So whether he's done it on purpose or not, he has done a masterful job of coaching this Ottawa 67s team to this point in the year where they're just peaking at the right time.
Well, exactly right. You want to peak going into the playoffs, have a lot of momentum. The problem last year was too many injuries going into the playoffs. This year, they're relatively healthy. When they're firing on all cylinders like that, they can give any team, including the Oshawa Generals, a very good run.
What about the Sudbury Wolves? They finish off, to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt, a very tough weekend. They were at home Friday night against Oshawa. They traveled to Peterborough for a game yesterday, which they lost, then into here. Do you think at this stage of the year the travel has any kind of an effect on the team?
I don't think so. They're all pretty young guys, and especially Sudbury's a very young team. On defense, they're very experienced, so they've been through these types of things before, and the travel shouldn't really be a huge factor. 3 games in 3 days is always a factor, especially when they played Friday night, had to jump on the bus out of Sudbury, head down to Peterborough for an afternoon game, and then come in here for the game tonight. But certainly, I think a team like the Sudbury Wolves are used to the travel. That's not really a factor. I think just winding down, all the teams are tired at this point of the year. Sudbury would desperately like to get that 5th spot in the Leighton division. But again, if they finish in 6th place, they're not concerned. They have a lot of confidence to go in against the Oshawa Generals and do a good job.
Do you think they have a chance against the Oshawa Generals?
I don't think there's any question that they have a chance. They played the Generals tough all year. They have a very good team. They had some lapses tonight, obviously, but this is a talented team. Very experienced on defense. If John Tanner can get hot in net, he can be a big factor. And up front, they have very highly skilled forwards. They're a young team up front, but very skilled. And I think when you put up those skilled players against the Oshawa Generals, it's all that the Generals can do to play against them.
Whether or not the travel is a factor or not, the Sudbury Wolves struggling on the road this season. They finish up. This is their final road game of the year. 10 wins, 21 losses, and a couple of ties. Here's Gord Miller.
All right, thanks very much, gentlemen. Now you can go say hi to some of your